for real. He said, I have fallen. Who is it? Who is that, Charles?
It's Lizzie Borden.
Oh my God. That's a blast from the past.
Man, I'm getting old school shit today. You know?
Yeah. That's weird because I looked up Molly Hatchet the other day.
Uh-huh.
Because I'd never listened to any Molly Hatchet, and I was like, I want to hear what this sounds like. It's not good. I don't think it's good. I didn't like it.
You're like, I'm rocking out to Molly Hatchet. You put it in, you're like, shit.
It's not hard at all. You'd think with a name like that, it'd be like real hard, but it's kind of just like basic rock and roll.
They're like they're like the Coldplay of metal. Is that what they are?
I don't know what they are, man. I'd always heard that name, and I never knew much about them. What are you drinking?
Oh, drinking this ready-made old fashioned. And it's delicious.
It looks good.
I'm drinking it not out of an old fashioned glass, mind you, the Frightmare HQ mug. So I ain't classy at all.
Yeah.
Give two shits.
There's a bunch of people watching us, Charles. Let's see who's
watching us.
Let's see.
I love people.
David Dugas, Travis Brown.
Oh.
Yeah.
Dugas.
Travis. That's me. I'm Lloyd. I'm in there. Travis is here. Yep. And David Dugas. Todd Lewis. Stephen Burt. Making it hurt.
Bam. Burt. Hurt.
Right. I am going through the list, y'all. Let's see. Allie's here.
Allie.
Yes. Stephen Burt. Making it hurt. I already said that.
Makes it hurt
twice. How many
twice.
times are we going to... He made it hurt twice. Jeanette Nolan's here. Hello, Jeanette.
Jeanette.
Yeah, Brad Bingham is here. Brad's gonna be bringing a special something to the shop this weekend, and we're gonna practice for the event. We're looking forward to it. It's gonna be fun.
Oh my. I don't know what's going on, but I'm scared. So
I think you do. You just don't remember. We've talked about it with you.
I can't remember shit, dude. I got the memory of like a 133-year-old Civil War vet.
Looky here, Raven Rose. She says, "Holla, y'all!
Ooh.
Holla back,
What's up,
Raven. What's up?" Ashley Guillory is here.
Ashley Guillory.
Well, you can't just tease me like that, Charles. You can't just start it and then drop it.
You don't.
Hey, Tyler Burrows. Tyler Burrows is here.
What's up, Tyler?
And JRE, Mr. Estrada. What is up? Yeah, Brad, we're gonna have a fun time. It's gonna be a blast. So
that sounds fun.
We got a lot of people watching us. I don't know who all is here. I can't see it on the chat. Let's see. Let's check Twitch though. I always forget to check Twitch, Charles.
Don't forget Twitch.
I know.
Twitch.
Because we have some great people on Twitch, right?
Well, I'm going to tell you guys, we do. We got some fun people on Twitch, man, and we got a fun show too because 2009 was a pretty solid year. There's a lot going on. It was,
Charles. I was really surprised when I saw 2009. I was like, "This is going to be a womp womp year."
I was like, "We'll do this in 23 minutes."
Yeah.
No, it's really good. It gives 07 a run for its money. I was like, "Oh no,
try."
Oh no.
So let me get to some of the folks over on Twitch real quick. Baby Blues TX23. That's Cynthia. She's here.
What's up, Cynthia?
Mr. 80s 1224. What's up, buddy?
Up,
he asked, "What is up, guys? Did you see Snyder's cut of Justice League? It was good. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm looking forward to it.
I've seen it 2.5 times now. Oh yeah.
Whoa! Wow, Charles, I'm impressed. You mean you sat on your ass long enough to watch that movie 2.5 times? That's like 12 days, isn't it?
This is coming from somebody who doesn't have time to watch shit anymore.
Yeah, I'm getting that way. I feel so terrible because I'm so behind in watching stuff. So.
People are like, "Did you see a movie?" I was like, "Well, I had 9 minutes yesterday to watch a movie, so let's I couldn't fit it in."
We added more. There's some more people that joined us. I can't remember if I said hello to Twitch Nate 81, but howdy Twitch Nate. What's up, dude?
Let's say hi again.
Yeah, let's do it. JD Smith Digiartist is here. Cyan
Digi.
Melito is here. And
What's
Allie
up?
popped in over on Twitch and said hi there, and she's also on YouTube. So howdy to
Allie's
everybody. Bob White
Allie's
is
jumping
here.
around.
My goodness,
What's
guys.
up,
Thank
Bob?
y'all for joining us and watching us tonight. We appreciate that.
I know, that's cool. We appreciate it, guys. It's gonna be good night. Last year
Absolutely.
of the 2000s, so somehow we've made it through another decade. I don't know how long
Where's
we've
all the
done now.
time going, guys? What is going on?
Look, man, I was going through our YouTube stuff yesterday, guys, and I was like trying to catalog stuff, and I was like, how the hell has Lloyd and I done like 70 shows? I was like, what the hell? It's like, I can't, what's going on? We've done like 71 shows now, and I'm like, it hasn't even been a year. I'm like, okay.
I know.
Well, apparently
and
we
you guys
do
have
this a
made
lot.
that possible. If nobody watched us, we'd just be on here by ourselves. But
Yeah.
you guys watching and participating and commenting and liking and all the subscriptions and everything really, really, really keeps us motivated to keep doing this show. So keep it up,
That is the
guys.
truth,
Thank
yeah.
y'all. We appreciate it.
And an extra big shout out to our Patreons who've been supporting us. We really appreciate your guys' support, and hopefully, what you've got out of that has been fun. We've enjoyed doing those Patreon specific shows. We did 3 weeks in a row, so that was a lot of fun.
We did.
While we're all
I don't remember a normal Sunday of not doing shows anymore.
shit, we don't need to.
That's right.
Yeah, everybody on YouTube, while we're here, before we start, if everybody can hit the like button on the bottom, that way,
Yes, please.
I won't give you shit about it later and make our nights easier, right?
That's
And
right.
I'm wearing my VHS shirt today for you guys. I think I've been wearing this shirt for like 3 straight days.
If y'all didn't know, Charles is into VHS really big. He loves it. It's his whole life. He sleeps. Like Stephanie isn't allowed in the bed because it's full of VHS tapes.
My office here looks like a Blockbuster from 1991 exploded. That's what it looks like. It's like, what do you have on VHS? Let me just wait. Here's one.
I got it.
They're everywhere. You want to watch Scream? Oh, I've got 37 copies of Scream now. So anybody wants Scream on VHS, I got you. I literally have 37 copies on all the variations. I don't know why. They keep appearing like lost children on my doorstep. They're like, "Would you please adopt me?" I'm like, yes.
Because you keep buying them, Charles. That's why they keep showing up. Because you keep buying them.
Well, people stop selling to me for $1. I'll stop buying them.
There you go.
You want to buy a copy of Scream? How much? 43 cents. I'm like, shit, I'll take 27 of them. Okay.
I'm on. Well, listen, guys, I think we're going to go ahead and get this show on the road. Let's kick off the last year in the beautiful decade of the 2000s, or 2000 whatever, 2000 through 2009. I don't know. Everybody always has an opinion that the decade doesn't start until the 2001.
What happens to the 0 year?
2000. Well, that's where it ends, from what I've been told.
I don't confine by those rules.
I don't either. I don't trust that.
If you follow that rule, then 1990 is in the 80s, and that makes no damn sense.
Well,
it hurts my head.
Isn't that what they say?
Stop hurting my head, Lloyd. I'm not doing this today.
Well, listen, we have several people that haven't liked us on YouTube yet. So run down, smash that like button. Come on, guys. Y'all are watching. Give us a like. It doesn't cost you anything to give us a like.
All it costs is our happiness.
That's right. We're not going to be happy if y'all don't smash that like button. There's 11. All right.
Thank you, that's all we need. We're good now.
We'll keep going.
We got double digits, so that's all that matters.
We have real frail emotions, y'all, and we have abandonment issues, and we feel like if you're not liking us, then you don't love us.
Anytime we get less than 20 likes, me and Lloyd hold each other on Saturdays and cry, and we ask, "What did we do that was so wrong?" And I'm like, "I don't know, Lloyd. I don't know, Lloyd." And I have to pat Lloyd's head and calm him down, and then we eat ice cream and we go to bed.
So, all right. So somebody explained this. I'm sorry, Charles, to interrupt you.
No, you're fine. What's up?
So Baby Blue says 2000 to 2009 is the decade. 2010 is the beginning of a new decade. Well, I've heard people say the opposite. They say that, 2000 is the end of the decade and '01 is the beginning. But anyway, that doesn't matter. That's not my opinion, and it's neither here nor there. Our job tonight is to sing you a lullaby of soft, beautiful horror films.
Yeah, we like doing that, you know? It's our favorite.
Oh, yeah. Rooster and my rooster loves
so glad
me.
the cock
I'm
is
gonna
back.
cherish that chicken beneath the green bay tree, my little rooster.
Don't breathe too deeply.
Don't breathe too deeply. All right, guys. I'm going to kick this off.
Let's do it. This is good. We're having a lot of fun today. This is a lot of good stuff, guys.
That's right. First one off the list. A ski vacation turns horrific for a group of medical students as they find themselves confronted by an unimaginable menace. Nazi zombies.
Oh!
Released in Norway, January 9th, 2009, it's the Norwegian comedy horror film Dod Snow, directed by Tommy Wirkola. Work it, Tommy Wirkola.
Wirkola. Ich bin ein Zombie. Nein, voll Zombie. Nein.
Nazi zombies, dead snow. We got a trailer for this one, don't we?
Oh, I hope we do. I can't remember what I did, but I think I
can't either.
A trailer. I did a trailer because I love this movie. This movie's awesome.
I love this movie too.
I remember the first time I watched this, and I was like, just watching the trailer, I was like, oh, there's no way this is not going to be good.
Yeah.
Like, there's absolutely no way. You got Nazi zombies coming out of the snow. I'm like, this is done. This is good already.
I hear that a lot from a lot of horror fans. They want to see more movies set in the snow. Like, after the Friday the 13th remake, which we're going to get to later tonight, after that, they were talking about setting the sequel in the snow, and that never happened. But I think that's kind of cool. You don't see a lot of horror movies in the snow, right?
Not a whole lot. There's a handful of them out there, mostly Christmas movies.
Right.
Nothing away from the Christmas theme. Not too many. There's a little bit.
Yeah.
I like it. I mean, it really helps set the atmosphere because, I mean, part of the fun part of them being in the cabin is knowing, like, outside is so dark and cold and there's nothing they can see and there's not really anywhere you can run and hide because you're going to freeze to death. So
You'll
it's
freeze
like,
to death, yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
Guys,
Nazis
are like leprechauns. You don't touch their freaking gold. All right, everybody knows that. You don't touch Nazi gold.
When is St. Patrick's Day? Is that already passed? Yeah,
that was like last year, dude.
Dude, we should have done like a leprechaun show or something.
Why?
Anyway, sorry. I know.
I'm the leprechaun.
Well, going back to what you were saying though, Charles, it is very it's a good setting because, like you said, you're stuck in this house. You go outside, there's nowhere to run. It amps up the tension.
Yeah. I like this one. Now, I'll tell you guys, I wasn't a fan of the sequel of this movie. I don't know what it was about the sequel to this movie, but it did not do it for me. It was just too weird. But I like Dead Snow. I think the main thing that sort of threw me off was it was mostly in English. There was no English in this first one. Now, I've heard that there is a Norwegian version, but every copy I've ever got, the second one's in English. So I'm just like, okay. I'm like, I want to watch subtitles again.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of your deal, so I get that.
I have a problem with it. But no, great movie, guys. I think Dead Snow is like a super throwback movie to everything that was awesome in the 80s about horror. I mean, this is just a fun movie with a ridiculous plot line that is just fantastic. I mean, I don't know the guy who plays the Nazi leader, but he's so great. The stuff he does and some of the kill scenes are fantastic. I mean, this movie borderlines a splatter film, especially towards the end, you know?
Yeah,
I
definitely.
think it might even be called a splatter. Would you call it a splatter film? Would you guys call this a splatter film?
There's definitely some splatter in it, so yeah, I guess so.
Let's splatter that shit.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
Yeah, tell us what you guys think in the comments. Is Dead Snow a splatter flick? All right, Charles. So, we like Dead Snow. Starts off the year
I mean,
great.
starts off the year great. You know, it's one of those that's also fun because you don't see a lot of movies that are good coming out of Norway at this time. So it's kind of interesting to see a country just throw something at you like Dead Snow.
Yeah. Where was that slasher that was set in a abandoned resort?
That's
Cold Prey. Where was that made?
Cold Prey. That was
that Sweden or
Swedish. It was a Swedish
Danish movie. Or I can't remember.
One of those Danish or Swedish movies.
Yep.
They're all the same. It's
all the same. They're all the same, you know.
They're all the same. Yeah, guys. Yeah, Dead Snow's great. You know, you can get a Blu-ray for it on Amazon, or you can rent it on Amazon as well. This movie is like never streaming anywhere. I don't think I've ever seen this movie streaming anywhere, like ever. But it should be.
Interesting. So cool. Let's move on to the next one, Charles. This one's yours.
Well,
and this one's fun.
Yeah, this is going to kind of be a trend that we're seeing for this year. We're going to see a lot of these movies. I'm talking about remakes here. Our first one up, a man returns to his hometown on the 10th anniversary of the massacre that claimed 22 people. But instead of a homecoming, the man finds himself suspected of committing the murders, Lloyd. Dun, dun, dun.
This is a Scooby-Doo movie. I know it is.
Mm-hmm. However, it seems like his old flame is the only one that believes he is innocent. This was released January 16th. It's an American slasher film, My Bloody Valentine, or My Bloody Valentine 3D, depending on where you saw it. Yes. Directed by Patrick Lesueur. It's a remake of the Canadian slasher film from 1981 of the same name. Pretty decent sequel. I mean, pretty decent remake. I mean, you know, it was...
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely not the original one, but it captured a lot of what the original one had and, you know, kind of revitalized it a little bit. It's one of those interesting remakes. I remember when it came out, a lot of people didn't even remember the original one. So it's nice to sometimes shine light on older movies like that for a new crowd.
Well, you know, I like this movie because it is 3D. And
Lloyd, 3D.
Me and my 3D. I love it. This is fun, though. This is a fun 3D movie. Mm-hmm. I like these movies. I like a 3D movie when it enhances the fun of the movie. And that's what My Bloody Valentine did with the 3D. And we're lucky we got that because this last 3D era was all about depth. They just wanted to show depth and, you know, that kind of thing. That was the big deal from Cameron. It was all about depth, but this movie was all about pop-outs. And the pop-outs were fantastic in this movie, but I love it. I love 3D movies. I bought the Vinegar Syndrome Silent Madness Blu-ray, and I still haven't had a chance to watch that, but that's on top of my list.
It's going to tickle your fancy. I mean,
I haven't even
watched it the right way. I watched the other way with the anamorphic 3D glasses, the ones you put on, and it made me throw up. I was like, oh.
Dude, what you need to do is just come over one night and we'll sit down, or one day, and we'll watch it on 3D on the big screen, and
let's watch it on third dimension, Lloyd. Then we'll watch Friday the 13th Part 3 in third dimension.
We could have a triple feature, bro. We throw in My Bloody Valentine in there. We're all good.
Yeah. What's the third one? Oh yeah, we're gonna watch Schindler's List in 3D.
Oh no,
third dimension.
I bet Germany has that on Blu-ray 3D. I bet they do.
They're like, oh.
In Germany, so they used to convert everything. Like
they were doing that. Yeah, they were doing that. Like all kinds of movies.
Yeah, it was just like, you know, the Muppets in 3D. You know, the Germans evidently love
in
3D.
Fraggle Rock now in 3D. Like, okay. Right. Let's watch it.
Let's watch it.
Yeah, but I mean, this is a decent remake. It's it actually was a pretty decent. I saw this in 3D in the theaters, and it was a pretty decent 3D theater watch. You know, it was a lot of fun stuff going on there. It's this was about the time there was another push for 3D movies. You know, it was about 08, 09, where a lot of stuff was starting to come out in 3D again in the theaters. It was one of those things that was around. I don't remember before COVID. Was theater still doing 3D movies a lot? I don't even recall.
No, 3D was getting pushed out. Once 4K arrived, that's when 3D saw its exit, or even before that, when it was starting to taper down to nothing. You knew it was coming. 4K TVs have no recommend, or what do they call it? Requirements for having 3D. So there's no Blu-ray 4K DVD player out there, or Blu-ray 4K 3D is what I'm trying to say.
Even that, there's not even new, like you said, 4K TVs. There's not even new TVs that support 3D that are 4K.
Right.
Like they can't figure it out. So they're just like, meh, nobody will miss it.
From what I understand, when they build these TVs, everybody has to adhere to certain standards, and 3D just was not included on 4K standards. So there you go.
Were you sad, Lloyd? Were you sad about that?
Nah, I mean, it'll come back. It comes back. That seems like every 30 years or so. So maybe before I die.
It's gonna be like 9D. It's gonna be like real life. You're gonna be watching this.
Well, what's cool is we're finally getting a lot of these 3D horror films. Like Friday the 13th 3D, we got a good release of that in real 3D Blu-ray, and we're still getting some horror stuff on Blu-ray 3D. So that's fine with me. I'm in. I'll do it.
I'll watch whatever you bring into your house. I don't have anything that plays 3D here. So yeah. I used to years back, but as I upgraded into like 4K on everything in the house, it was just it's not here. So
there you go. All right, guys. So what else about My Bloody Valentine, Charles?
I think this is what everybody out there's seeing. What do you guys think in the comments? Let me know what you guys think of it. I thought it was a pretty good remake. These movies don't have much of a script to it. It kind of follows real closely to the last one, but the kills are fun. Great slasher movie. Just a lot of fun,
Yep, I agree.
Where can we watch
I like
this
movie.
Is this anywhere?
Yeah, streaming on HBO looks like. So you can jump in there. Rentals $3.99 on Amazon. You can buy the Blu-ray for $18.99 on Amazon. But nobody does 3D digital rentals anymore, I don't think. So there you go.
Yeah, they don't. You got to bring it back, Lloyd. Lloyd's 3D channel.
Got to bring it back, yeah.
Streaming now.
Okay, this next one is one that I have no idea. I don't even know what this movie is. So
you don't know this one?
I don't know it. So the life of a successful sculptor is turned upside down when he begins receiving mysterious messages from someone who asks for his help. Released in Jakarta on January 22nd, 2009. It's the Indonesian psychological horror film The Forbidden Door, written and directed by Joko Anwar. Huh. Woo. This is a good one, I guess. I don't know.
This is actually a really awesome movie. It was called Pintu Turalonga in Indonesia. That was its actual name. But this movie is an absolutely beautiful film. It kind of spreads that line between horror, thriller, and a little bit of drama in there. But it is absolutely beautifully shot. The cinematography in it is great. The use of camera angles is really, really fun. His use of light's fun. And one thing that sucks about this movie is it is impossible to find. That is not even a joke. It is beyond impossible to find. It's almost been lost. But this movie is very disturbing. It is very haunting, and it's actually one that I think would be a lot of people's favorites. It's a really intelligent film. You have to pay really close attention to it, but there's a really great story that unfolds, and acting in it is so great. And there's a lot of twist in there that you're going to just be like, whoa, what the hell is going on? And this is one that, unfortunately, since it very briefly played in theaters in Asia, it was only released on DVD in Indonesia. That's the only time it was ever released. Nowhere else. And even the DVD is impossible to find. And that DVD didn't have English subtitles. So it tells you how hard it is to watch this movie. But it's an amazing movie, and I had to put it on the list just to shine some light on this film.
All right. So this is from Indonesia.
It's from Indonesia, yeah. You don't see a lot of movies coming out of Indonesia at this time. Not really, not like Indonesia like an overall, but like more horror-themed movies. Indonesia is known for a lot of really strange comedies and dramas that were done. And this movie is great. Like you said, it's about this sculptor and a bunch of weird shit happens to him. And the sculptor is interesting because all he sculpts is statues of pregnant women. So it's a really weird job.
I was gonna say that first shot had like a pregnant woman naked, like bent backwards. I was like, what is going on here?
Yeah. And it's just a lot of weird stuff's happening to him. It's about the amping up of the paranoia he's feeling of the world around him, because all this like strange shit is happening, but it's like he's the only person who can see it. There's like this child that keeps appearing and asking him to help me. That's what you see there in the notes. He keeps finding notes that say help me, and it takes you to an interesting realm. It's just a lot of fun, a lot of different genres. And the guy who directed this used to be a movie critic, and he became a filmmaker. And we didn't really see much else like that from him. But yeah, I wish this would get released. I was lucky enough to see this. There was a very brief screening of this in the United States like 10 years ago, 11 years ago, at one of the film festivals back in the day shows. I can't remember if it was AFI or TIFF. One of them showed it back in the day. And it's a fantastic film, and it's one of those, it's just like nobody will release it.
Interesting. Well, it looks good.
I'm telling you, it's good, guys. If I can ever come across some way to get a copy of it for people, I will. But it's one to keep on your radar. If somehow it ever becomes streaming, which hopefully it will. It's a great movie, but I hate when I have to throw these movies in there that I'm like, man, this movie's so awesome, guys.
Yeah.
But you can't watch it. Like, sorry, guys. Can't watch it, but it's great. Trust me.
Part of the fun for me in being a movie fan, though, is just seeking out the movies that are hard to find. So, I think that's the fun part of it.
I agree with you. And I hate when you have to get to that point where you almost have to acquire it through an illegal stream just to watch it. Yeah. I hate having to do that, but sometimes they leave you no choice. It's like, well, if you won't release it, how is anybody ever going to watch it? It's like, what do you want us to do? But that's all we'll talk about for the Forbidden Door. Just it's not out there, but it's a great movie. Just trust me on this.
Well, at least people are aware of it now.
They're gonna be aware. I bet you $100 I get a copyright tomorrow from director Joko Anwar, who's like, "What are you doing showing my trailer?" You could not see the Forbidden Door. It's forbidden. It's forbidden.
So stupid, right? Oh Lord!
Nobody can see this. All right,
you're next,
guys.
Big Daddy.
I'm doing it. This is another fun one. Here we go. All right, so we're going more into remake territory here. A girl returns home after a stint in a mental hospital, but her recovery is jeopardized by her cruel stepmother and ghastly visions of her dead mother. This was released January 30th, 2009. It's an American supernatural horror film, The Uninvited, directed by the Guard brothers. This is a remake of the 2003 South Korean film A Tale of Two Sisters, and this is one of the rare times they remade a Asian movie and didn't call it the same title. Usually they do that. So this is actually a fun movie, though. It's
I haven't
really
seen
fun
this
movie.
one, Charles. I know nothing about The Uninvited. I do know A Tale of Two Sisters, but You say it's a good remake, or?
Yeah, it's actually a decent remake. Now it's no Tale of Two Sisters. That's a fantastic movie, but this is actually one of the better remakes of westernized Asian horror films. There's some that are really really bad, but this one is pretty good. It's got a good cast in it. Emily Browning's in this, and I absolutely love her. If you remember her from Ghost Ship, she was the little girl in Ghost Ship, and she's a great actress. She's been around forever, but this one really was remade true to the original. It's still pretty scary. It's a lot of fun, and I'd say it's one of the better Asian horror remakes that we saw. The Uninvited, I think, will surprise a lot of people if you haven't seen it by how decent the film actually is, and by decent I mean it's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
It's definitely horror. It's one of those that's kind of psychological thriller as well, but the acting in this is really what drove this to be so good. And mainly from Emily Browning, because she's so fantastic in this movie. And you even have mostly comedic actress Elizabeth Banks in this, who she's done a lot of weird stuff in her day, and she's really good in this as well. So
Yeah.
has anybody out there seen this one in the crowd, in the audience? Anybody check this one out? Because I really enjoy this one.
Yeah, I'm just not too familiar with it. I never saw it. I need to check it out. I don't even know. I know with Tale of Two Sisters, I've seen that. Does it stay pretty close to that?
Stays pretty close. Stays pretty close to the original. You've still got a lot of twists and turns in it. Very creepy atmosphere throughout it. Lots of questioning of what's happening. Story builds up really good. But yeah, I mean, really, the highlight of watching it is just seeing Emily Browning, because she's always such a great actress, and I feel like she's super underappreciated. If you guys remember her in American Gods, she was so great in that TV show, and I've always been a fan of hers, but I've never seen her get sort of these big name projects that I think she should get, because she's such a great little actress. Well, I say little, she's not a little girl anymore. She's like 30 now. So, but I still just remember her. I remember her as a little kid. She was like 20 in this, I think. But man, she's a great actress. I'd recommend everybody kind of watching this one if you hadn't seen it. It's a fun one, especially if you're into these spooky psychological horror type movies where there's a lot of stuff going on. I would say though, like Lloyd's saying, if you haven't seen Tale of Two Sisters, watch that first, because that is a much superior film. But this one is a really, really great remake of that.
Awesome. T. West said that she's seen it, just bought A Tale of Two Sisters. And Stephen Burt says, I'll have to check this one out. Yeah, I think I need to now as well. All right, so this movie is, where's it available, Charles?
Let's see. Do you have it up? I don't think I have it up.
Yeah, it says streaming Prime and Paramount.
Yeah,
streaming with ads on Pluto. Rental at $2.99, Blu-ray $11.99.
So this one's all over the place, guys. Yeah, I mean, I love when jumping on Prime. Prime's been our savior the last, lots of these shows. A lot of stuff's been on Prime lately. But man, guys, do me a favor and check this one out if you got Prime. I'd love to get your guys' feedback on it. I want to go back and rewatch it too. I actually watched this about 2 years ago. And it was probably the third time I'd seen it. And I still really enjoyed watching it. And like I said, mainly for the acting, and it's so good.
Awesome. All right. Next up, Against the
another
Odd.
Remake, Lloyd?
Another remake, yes. We're on a remake superhighway right now. Against
Hold
the
on,
advice, guys. Yeah. Against the advice of locals and police, a man scours the eerie woods surrounding Crystal Lake for his missing sister. But the rotting cabins of an abandoned summer camp are not the only things he finds. He finds a big horse that likes to go.
Yeah.
Released Friday the 13th, 2009. It's the American slasher film Friday the 13th, directed by Marcus Nispel, a reboot of the Friday the 13th franchise. The movie itself debuted in 45 countries its opening weekend.
Yeah, that's
Um,
insane for a movie.
That is insane, and it made a lot of money. I remember it was successful,
It
and
made an insane shit ton of money. It's because they
mhm,
put it every country that would allow them to show this movie, they debuted it on the same day. And it sounds like a lot. It is, guys, because most of the time when movies come out, it's generally like American movies, which this is an American film, normally come out in like 4 countries or 5 countries to start. It's usually US, Canada, Mexico, and UK. That's usually how it rolls. And then it spends a year kind of rolling everywhere else. But no, they
right.
put this everywhere in the world. They were like, everybody's seeing this movie.
I remember I went to see an advanced screening of this, and it was like it was a public advanced screening. It wasn't a press screening or anything. The place was packed, and this was for just one of those little free press or free screening things, like a promo screening. Place was packed. There were tons of people waiting that were obviously not going to be able to get in. Because it's like first come, first serve for those screenings. I walked out of there and I really enjoyed it. Upon first screening, I liked this remake. I think subsequent screenings, I didn't like it as much, but I still liked a lot about this movie. What about you?
Yeah, I think it's kind of maybe an opposite for me because when I saw this in theaters, I didn't like it at all.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought it was a weird revival of Jason. I don't know. I just think about it, just thought it was weird, and
Well,
I
they
didn't
did
watch it
mash a
again.
lot of the movies into one movie.
That's
You
what I think it
basically
was.
you at least get the first 3 flicks, the first 3 original in this movie.
Yeah. So I don't know. Is there something about the script for the reboot? I just didn't like a lot of stuff that was going on, but and I didn't watch this again for 5 or 6 years. Then I rewatched it and I was like, well, this wasn't so bad. I actually enjoyed it more on a second viewing a little bit later.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, I think, like I said, I still enjoyed it a second viewing, but the first
Yeah.
viewing, I really enjoyed it in the theater. I thought it was a fun movie. Everybody in the theater seemed to enjoy it, and really, that's what these kind of movies are all about.
Yeah. I think maybe that's what, like you mentioned, really it was like Jason compression. It's like how much shit can we cram into this movie for
Right.
people? And now I do like that it was filmed in Austin. It's a Texas film movie.
Hmm.
That's fun. And I know that, they wanted to remake this, especially after Texas Chainsaw Remake made so much money when it came out. And I know that
This is
crazy
the
ass
same
Michael
director
Bay.
too, right?
Yeah. And I know crazy ass Michael Bay, who produced this, like him and a couple other people fought with fought to get the rights from Paramount, like just throwing stupid money at them. And that's why we never got a sequel again, because this did extremely well at the theaters, and like there was almost immediately a sequel greenlit, but because it did so well in the theaters, Paramount was like, well, now we want the rights, or we want like 97% of the gross and a bunch of weird shit. It's
Oh
like
yeah, yeah. Everybody
it's
got
like
greedy.
all this money. We want $700 million for you to use Jason Voorhees. Like what?
Yeah,
The hell's
greed
going on
ruins
here?
everything, man. Obviously, greed ruins everything.
But
I had
yeah,
a fun time watching this. But I think you're right. It's more of an audience participation kind of a thing, and viewing it at home wasn't as fun as I remember it in the theater. So anyway, I still
yeah.
recommend watching this flick.
I mean, I'll say that I thought Derek Mears was a fantastic Jason. I
Derek
mean, I
killed
like,
it.
yeah, Derek's awesome. I mean, I throw Derek up there, and that's, even not being the biggest fan to start and maybe enjoying it more later, y- even going back to not being the biggest fan at the start, I still wanted a sequel to this because I thought Derek was so fantastic that if they could have done a sequel and maybe stepped away from trying to cram all these movies into one and perhaps develop some sort of interesting or semi-original storyline,
Right,
then
right.
we may have had a lot of fun. But unfortunately, we never got that. And we're 10 years into it now, and I think they're still fighting over rights to this. And
Well,
you guys
yeah,
know
I mean,
there's
now
like a
you
weird
have more people involved. There's this whole
Yeah.
lawsuit with the original writer. Now he's like
And
claiming that he owns the characters and all this stuff. It's crazy.
it's a split. It's like a weird split. It's like Paramount's like, well, we own the terminology Friday the 13th. And then somebody else is like, well, I own the ideal of
Yep.
Jason Voorhees. And then somebody else is like, well, I own the ideal of the hockey mask that's being worn. And somebody else is like, well, I own the ideal of them being at a camp. And it's like, what the hell, people?
Yeah,
Like,
it's
calm
gotten
down.
real, but that's what happens when you get into court with, this kind of stuff. Other people that don't understand it end up making the decisions for you. So
Mhm.
that's what happened is they ended up having to split things and chunk it down into, whose idea it was and who owns the rights to this part of it and that mythology and blah, blah, blah. So who knows?
Who knows?
Who
Maybe we'll make
knows?
our own. Maybe we'll make our own Friday 13th movie and then we'll get sued. We don't care. That'd be awesome.
There's a lot of people that make there's several Friday
Yeah.
the 13th fan films out there, and it's like some
couple
of
of
the
them are pretty
original
good.
actors are in them. Like CJ did one, and I know at one point, what is her name from Part 5, A New Beginning? The girl in the woods, she Voorhees. Her real last name is Voorhees.
Oh,
in-
yeah, yeah. I
in
know what
real
you're talking
life. Anyway,
Um,
she was at one point gonna make some kind of Friday the 13th fan film. It's crazy.
Well, I'm going to tell you that some of the Friday the 13th fan films are just as good as some of the ones that came in the movie franchise. I'm not even joking. Some of those are actually fairly decent. If you've watched a couple of them, they're pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. I've seen a couple and they are. So what else
Yeah,
can
I
we say
mean-
about Friday the 13th, Charles?
I mean,
The
yeah, it's
remake.
just it's in a sea of some of these remakes. I think it was fairly decent, and it was a decent attempt at trying to revive this franchise, and I think they could have if they didn't get greedy. And will we ever see another Friday the 13th movie? What do you guys think? I don't know if we ever will, but let's just see. Let me know what
Yeah.
you guys think if we'll actually see one or not. It may be 2090 and they're like Friday the 13th coming soon. Like, okay,
You never
I'm
know.
excited.
We'll see.
We'll
All
see.
right. Did you tell? Excuse me. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say this one's on HBO Max. So HBO's rocking this one. I'm actually surprised. Oh, I guess this wouldn't be on Paramount. Paramount has their own station, which is kind of interesting that Paramount has their own channel, but none of the Friday the 13th movies are on it. That's just me. But yeah, it's also
Yeah,
rental
it's a
on
weird
Amazon.
thing.
Like, every service has this, and the Blu-ray's kind of been shoved down everybody's throats. It's like $5 now. You can get one. I think last I looked, it was $9 on Amazon, but usually it drops to like $4 or $5 if you want one. So it's out there.
Cool.
Hey, yeah, guess what we got next, Lloyd? It's another remake.
another remake. Do it, Charles.
After kidnapping and brutally assaulting 2 young women, Lloyd Cryer returned to Frightmare HQ. Wait, what?
Whoa.
What'd you do? Whoa!
I don't know. About
Again,
that.
Lloyd.
Again.
Again, Lloyd. All right, guys. After kidnapping and brutally assaulting those young women, a gang unknowingly finds a refuge at a vacation home belonging to the parents of one of the victims. What could it be, Lloyd? It sounds so familiar.
This sounds
plotline.
familiar.
This was released March the
Virgin
13th
Spring.
of 2009 as Virgin Spring in Space, the sequel. This is the American revenge horror film Last House on the Left, directed by Dennis Elias, Lattis, Blas, Bruce, something. It's a remake of the 1972 film with the same name.
Iliadus, maybe. I don't know.
What'd you call me? Or something?
Iliadus.
All right.
Last House on the Left, Charles. I liked this remake.
This remake was really fantastic. This remake was a lot better than it should have been.
Yeah.
When I heard this was being remade, I figured it was going to be something that was just a shell of the shockness of the original one, some of the stuff that happened, but it holds up really, really well. And the use of really horrifying scenes is there, much like the original. Yeah, I mean, there is some disturbing images in this one too. So I'm very happy they went a route of making this also has graphic as the original one.
Yes.
Kind of along the lines of like when they remade Hills Have Eyes, and it was really good because they still made it gory and graphic. So I'm with you. I liked this one a lot. Lot.
Yeah, and I see some people. Todd says I'll go ahead and take the original and go home on this one. Not bad, but I'd rather watch the original. I definitely
no
get
worries on
that. But I thought as a remake, and being disappointed so many times in the past on remakes, I was with you, Charles. I was quite pleasantly surprised that this movie was as good as it was, and it remained a lot of the brutality from the original.
Yeah, that's kind of like it's kind of like what there wasn't much else I wanted from this remake. Like I knew it wasn't ever gonna reach the levels of the original Last House on the Left, just from the cult status and a lot of stuff that Last House on the Left kicked off. But um, I thought that this was super effective, especially coming at the time where a lot of the Hollywood produced remakes of some of these horror films were super washed out. They were doing their best to tiptoe around the lines of making people offended by what they were seeing on screen and just trying to draw people into theaters. And yeah, this one took an opposite course. It created that creepy atmosphere. It gave you some uncomfortable scenes. You actually felt for the characters, for things that were going on.
Mhm.
And if you're not a fan, yeah, that's for everybody. I know people are super fans of the original and didn't like this one too much. Yeah, it happens. We're not all going to like the same movies, but
No.
I think it kept kind of that cruel nature of the original one, and for that I say it's a thumbs up on a remake for me on this bad boy.
Yeah, thumbs up for me too. The one thing that I took away from this movie, and I don't know if anybody agrees with me, but the one thing that irritated me from the original was the stupid bumbling cops when they would show up, and then they were like, it was like a bad comedy film, where they weren't they at one point stuck on a road, and then they'd play that music, bang, bing, bong, ba-dong, dong, dong.
Hey,
Yeah, like
there, sheriff.
like a sitcom, and it was kind of that way, but and it was very jarring, when you're watching this brutal movie about this crazy stuff coming on, and then you have like a 45-second interlude of comedy with the bumbling goofy cops. Here we come. So
Hey.
I was glad that we didn't have to endure that in the remake. So
Yeah,
that's a positive.
It's kind of interesting too because this movie was so well shot, so well directed. This director like basically never did anything again. I know after this he did a couple of movies, but they were all independent, low budget movies that weren't very good. I saw both of them. One was called Delirium. Delirium from a couple years ago was also a horror movie, and it was, it wasn't that good. And he did a sci-fi thriller called Plus One that really wasn't that good. So I always find it interesting when we come across these fantastic directors who give us, a nice piece of material that somehow just don't do anything again. That stuff always boggles my mind a little bit,
Yeah. Yeah, who knows, man? And I thought this movie, I could be mistaken, but I could swear that this movie did well in the box office too. It seemed like it had a good opening weekend at least. So
this movie had good word of mouth. It was kind of being, I don't know, it was being talked about for a while because it was still a little, we step out of the comfort zone that we know as a lot of us horror fans, especially you, me, and people watching this with us, we're kind of desensitized to a lot of stuff, and some people still aren't. So there was a lot of, people talking about this. Now, I know it did pretty decent. It didn't cost much to make, and I think it made like 2 or 3 times its budget back. So yeah, it did really well. And that's always the draw of a lot of these horror movies. They can make them relatively inexpensive, and as long as you market them, you can usually make your money back. So luckily this one, yeah, I mean, we got a great remake in my opinion.
yeah, I agree. I've only seen this movie once. I don't know how rewatchability or what the rewatch factor is on this, but it's something I want to go back and revisit just to see how I feel about it nowadays.
Yeah, I agree with you. I wouldn't mind going back and rewatch it. I want to say I haven't watched this in maybe 6 or 7 years, something like that. But Garrett Dillahunt in this, I love him as an actor. He's always great in so much stuff he does. Uh, he popped up on Fear the Walking Dead too, and he's kind of if you don't know his name, you usually know his face. The guy Garrett, and I enjoy seeing him in this. And both girls are really good in this too. So yeah, I mean, what much more we can say? It's
Yep.
it's the decade of remakes, guys. We've seen quite a few of them so far, and I'll say this is probably one of the better ones in my opinion.
Definitely agreed. This is it's on streaming on Showtime, or you can rent it $3.99. Amazon Blu-ray is $9.99. Last House on the Left, the remake, and I always find it funny. This Last House on the Left, of course, is a remake, but the original is basically a remake as well because we mentioned the Virgin Spring in the beginning. So, and that was an old film from Ingmar Bergman.
Yeah, it was kind of what it was derived from. Yeah, everything's a remake of something.
That's right.
Get deep enough. What do you got now, Lloyd?
So next up, a lone officer who evicts an old woman from her home finds herself the recipient of a supernatural curse. First premiering March 15, 2009 at the South by Southwest Film Festival in Austin, Texas. It's the American supernatural horror film Drag Me to Hell, co-written and directed by Sam Raimi. What a fun surprise this movie was.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell you something. I don't like this movie that much.
You don't?
I never have.
You don't? I like it. I think it's just a fun, crazy movie.
I know a lot of people disagree with me on that. A lot of people like this, and I definitely respect people's like for this movie. I love Sam Raimi. But something about this movie felt like it was put through a washing machine and shrunk. And I'm gonna attribute that to the PG-13 rating that it has. It felt like Sam Raimi light, like something Sam Raimi was making for teenage kids. That's what it felt like to me.
I'll agree with that. I can agree with that. It does feel like Sam Raimi light. There's a lot of signature Sam Raimi, but yeah, it is kind of toned down for, it's not Evil Dead. It's not that gory. It's not Evil Dead 2 or Evil Dead, the first one. It's definitely a gory flick.
And I know you can get away with a lot with PG-13.
It's definitely not a gory flick.
Yeah, it's not. It's and even stepping up besides that, I know you can get away with a lot with PG-13. There are good PG-13 horror movies out there. I'm not saying there's not, but this movie it felt like they wanted things in there that were just not in there because it was PG-13. Like you feel like there's purposely things that maybe were a little different, but I mean, I could say, yeah, Sam Raimi knows how to build tension in these films. He knows how to develop his story. He knows how to write out a story that's a lot of fun. This one just didn't do it for me. I don't know. I mean, maybe I can go back and rewatch this. I will go back and rewatch. Let me say I will go back and rewatch this because I've only seen this movie one time. And I saw it when it first came out, and I've never rewatched it. I've never done it. So maybe I will, Lloyd. Maybe I will.
There's a lot of comments about this one.
Todd
says he's with you. It has good Raimi moments, but here's my thing. I never thought for a second this shit getting cursed for doing her job, which she clearly didn't like doing.
I mean,
it was kind of played down for a kid's, a younger generation. That's true. So
yeah, I mean, like Ashley said, has me wondering what an R-rated Drag Me to Hell would be like, and that's kind of like what I'm saying is like when I see this story and I see this screenplay, I know this could be something really insane if it was R-rated. Like, there's a lot of really fun shit that could have been done that probably would have elevated this movie to another level.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna tell you guys, I'll go back and rewatch it, and yeah, that's about what I could do. I do like to see Sam Raimi kind of returning to horror with this after doing a lot of Spider-Man movies, and it's good to see him. It's good to see him come back to horror. I like that this is something sort of original that's not a found footage movie like everything was at this time or something like
Yeah.
that. It has some good parts to it, but you know what? It's just something that just never did it for me. And yeah, I saw somebody mention that it felt predictable. And yeah, I'll agree. I mean, Chrissy said it was completely predictable. And yeah, I mean, I'm kind of with Chrissy on this, that, it's completely predictable and cinematography made it. Yeah, the cinematography is greatness. That's kind of what's got Sam Raimi written all over it.
Yeah.
Everything else is just kind of predictable. But
I remember Raimi after Army of Darkness, a few years after, everybody was clamoring for they wanted another Evil Dead movie. And if I have to remind everybody, Army of Darkness was a bomb in the theaters. It didn't do well in theaters.
so many were. I mean, look at poor John Carpenter's The Thing that basically bankrupted the studio. Right. It was so bad.
But my point of bringing that up is I remember him saying once, he said, everybody keeps asking us to do more Evil Dead movies. And we love those movies, but they don't make money. That's what he said.
That's what gets hard.
Now, I think over the years, the cult status has grown, and I think those movies have made money, over the years. But, as a director, you want to get big projects, and you want to make some money, and I think that's, that's why you get something like Drag Me to Hell, because they refined it down to make money. That's what it's for. That's what it's there for.
Yeah. Travis mentioned that Sam Raimi is going to do the next Doctor Strange movie. Now, I'm going to tell you, Travis, I am intrigued by Sam Raimi doing Doctor Strange, but at the same time, I know for a fact that Marvel has a formula they make everybody follow. It's going to be very difficult for Sam Raimi to be any sort of Sam Raimi creativeness into Doctor Strange, because Marvel's one of those people that if you do anything that seems too dark or that a little 4-year-old kid who's going to buy toys is not going to like, they're going to cut it out of the movie. That's what they do.
Right. There you go.
But yeah, I mean, I'm with you. It's that's the problem we run into, guys, is these movies, like Lloyd said, back in the day, didn't make money. That's what happened to poor Coscarelli with Phantasm. That's why he had to self-produce the last few films himself, because Phantasm 2 was studio produced and they lost like $7 million making that movie for him. It's always happens. And it's a strange thing when you guys think about how many fans we have of these Phantasm movies. And, even some of the later Nightmare on Elm Street movies just bombed at the box office. Even the Friday the 13th bombed at the box office. And then you get one that makes money. And what do? They go greedy, and then they ruin us getting any more of them. So it's like a double-edged sword. You either going to lose money and they're not going to make any more, or the studio's going to make money and they're not going to make any more because everybody's going to get greedy. So
everybody's going to
we're screwed either way. we're screwed either way.
Well, Drag Me to Hell is available streaming with ads on Peacock, rental for $3.99, Amazon and Apple TV. There's a couple of Blu-rays. There's a Universal and a Shout Factory out there. Of course, the Shout Factory is going to be loaded with more special features, but there you go. That's Drag Me to Hell.
I have to agree with Brad here. Brad said Marvel is overrated. Guys, Charles is a more of a fan of the DC universe. I think that Man of Steel and the right versions of Batman vs. Superman and Justice League are probably some of the best superhero films ever made. I'm a DC nerd.
You may be right. So moving on to the next one.
Is it me?
Yes, sir. You're next.
Oh, this is a good one. This is a really good one. A student takes a strange babysitting job that coincides with a full lunar eclipse and slowly realizes her clients harbor a terrifying secret, putting her life in mortal danger. This first premiered April 25th, 2009 at the Tribeca Film Festival in New York. It's the American religious horror thriller, The House of the Devil, written, directed, and edited by Ty West.
Ty
T
West.
West it's Ty West. Ty West is one of the best filmmakers of the last 10 years that a lot of people don't know. He has done some phenomenal films, including The Sacrament. And that's what I got to meet him is we did one of those Frightmare sponsored diff screenings of The Sacrament. And I had to do an interview with him in front of the theater. That guy is that guy's awesome. He's a little bit he's a little bit to the point. He doesn't bullshit. He's a little cocky and he feeds off just like his movies. And it's weird when you see him because he literally looks like a homeless wizard. Like that's what he looks like. Like he came into that screening like with a hoodie on and some headphones and some like torn up jeans and like, oh, that's tied. I was like, the guy with the hoodie on. It's like what? But let me tell you guys, House of the Devil. This is a phenomenal film. I don't know, what do you think, Lloyd?
It's a slice of the 80s. This movie is super heavy on atmosphere. And that's what, in my opinion, makes this movie so enjoyable. The atmosphere is great. It's got a lot of stuff going on. I don't know. I think of different films when I see this, because I believe this movie is somewhat of an homage, not an obvious homage, but I think there's a lot of homage going on. House of the Devil, to the 80s. You know, I love how they kept that feeling like the 80s through the whole movie. She even had to use a payphone at one point. I mean, simple little things like that can add to your tone and your atmosphere in a film. And, I thought this was done masterfully. Stuff.
Yeah, Ty's great with that stuff. You watch his movies, he has so many of those little attentions to detail. That's why I say he's so great, because he doesn't forget those little things, and that stuff people sometimes even subconsciously pick up on, that they don't know why it makes them feel good, but it's just little things like that, you know? And 100% this is a throwback to the 80s. I mean, you feel like you're watching an 80s horror film. You know, it's a lot of fun. It's not that cookie cutter Hollywood horror movie that was being dropped out a lot of places at the time. It has a very weird ending that it's not what you expect, but I think this is a great, like you said, homage to the 80s. It's beautiful. I mean, there's a lot of twists in it. You're gonna feel yourself a little goosebumpy through it, you know? It's a lot of fun. I guess I could label it like a modern horror classic. That's kind of what it feels like, you know?
Yeah, Stephen Birch says the furniture remind me of my grandparents' house. Yeah.
Stuff like that, it gets you.
I don't know who did the set design and all that kind of stuff, but they nailed it. They nailed it really well. The costuming, the wardrobe was on point. So it's a fun flick. Allie says she'd love to meet Mary Warnoff and Tom Noonan. I would like to do that too.
That'd be cool.
That'd be great. They'd be great guests, and I think they're totally gettable. So a future show for that for sure. I did want to bring up that you upset a couple of people with your Marvel comments, Charles. That's okay, because that's what we're all about, is opinions and differences. But
what?
Travis says, I am taking my Marvel butt out of this stream. Good night, y'all. I don't, and he's still here. Down below it says, who's RoboCop 2? What is he's not leaving. You're not leaving, dude.
Travis, you can't leave me, Travis. Travis, you take the Marvel, Travis. I'll take the DC. We're good. We'll meet in the middle, Travis. All right?
Yeah.
One day me and Travis will do our own movie. I'm gonna play a really fat old Batman, and Travis is gonna play Captain America, and we're gonna battle.
JD Smith, DigiArtist, says Marvel is not overrated. It's not your thing, sure, but the receipts are proof Marvel is not overrated. So, different opinions, guys. Different opinions.
Okay, I'll say I'm not saying that Marvel's not good. I think Marvel is I think the problem Marvel has, I don't want to turn this into a Marvel stream, but just watching Justice League, Zack Snyder's Justice League, It's how those movies should be. They should be R-rated with lots of blood, because a lot of these movies you see people get like hit by like a superhero and they're just like, oh, I'm like, no, they would be bleeding a lot. But I'll say some of the Marvel ones are great, guys. I mean, I wasn't a fan of the cash cow of the last two Avengers, but I mean, I think the original Iron Man, Captain America, all the Captain America.
You're going on way too much about superheroes.
Shut
you
up,
really
Lloyd.
are. I just wanted to address the
here.
elephant in the room. That's all.
You know what, Lloyd?
That was like a giant T-Rex or something. So anyway, you know what? Marvel, blah, blah, blah. We'll have a special Marvel DC show for you guys.
No, we're not.
Where we'll talk. Oh, God.
Let's move on.
All right. So where are we talking about? We're talking about The House of the Devil. It's really
Great
cool.
movie,
it's a
guys.
fun movie. It's great. You should see it. Loved it.
It is. It's a fabulous movie. House of the Devil is really great.
It is.
Ty West is a great guy, writer, director. He's had a couple of stinkers, and the couple of stinkers he's had are stuff he took that he wasn't in control of. And what I'm talking about is Cabin Fever 2, that he did the same year as this, which was not good. But if you're not familiar with him, guys, I'm going to steer you to watch a few movies. You know, you should watch House of the Devil, you should watch Innkeepers, and you should watch The Sacrament. Those are three really great movies that he did, and I think you'll really enjoy them.
Perfect. I agree with you. The Innkeepers, I was a little disappointed with that movie, but it was good. It wasn't a terrible movie. The ending kind of threw me off, but anyway, what else, Charles, about House of the Devil?
Yeah, no, it's just a great one, guys. You'll enjoy it. A couple people in the comments have seen it and really enjoy it. If you want to watch it, it is streaming a lot of places, actually. Prime, Hoopla, Shudder, also streaming on Tubi free with ads. $3 rental on Amazon, and a $15 Blu-ray on Amazon as well. Definitely streaming enough places, Prime, Hoopla, and Shudder, that I think you guys should be pretty accessible to it. Great watch. Really recommend maybe this weekend it'd be a good one for you guys to watch.
That would be fun. Do it. Okay, so next up, I don't know anything about this one. You're going to have to help me with it. Through a failed medical experiment, a priest is stricken with vampirism and is forced to abandon his ascetic ways. Ascetic? Huh. I don't even know what that word means. Ascetic? Not aesthetic. Ascetic.
Aesthetic? I think that means like your priest lifestyle ways or something.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay.
Yeah.
Released in South Korea, April 30th, 2009, it's the South Korean religious horror film Thirst, produced, written, and directed by Park Chan-wook. Tell me about Thirst, Charles. You're the Asian horror expert, or Asian film expert in general. Well,
let me tell you guys, I think Thirst is probably one of the, if not the best horror movies of 2009. It is a Korean film, and it's got a lot of stuff going on in this movie. It is this director, I'm only familiar with this movie from this director, but I know he hasn't done much else like this, and it's absolutely a brilliant film. I mean, really, it's one of those that goes into a lot of depth on vampirism. It goes into a lot of depths of what this guy is becoming. It is super unique. There is a lot of violence in this. There's a lot of horror in this movie. It is one of those movies that doesn't need a really huge budget to make something super fantastic. All it needs is something really original, a lot of originality in this. And like I've said many times, we don't get a lot of original and even good vampire movies. They're very hard to come by. And this one is really good. Acting, it is fantastic. The plot is super strange, but in a good way. There's a lot of twist in there that you think it's going one way, and then it's going a different way. It tries its best, like I said again, to develop its own original story and kind of throw out a lot of the cliche vampirism things that we saw in films. which you don't see much. And it even throws in like a lot of like almost like a romantic horror type elements too. You get such good stuff. I mean, this director is so good. The actress in it, the female lead, I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but she's gorgeous and she's absolutely a fantastic actress.
Okay. All right, Travis said something about the thirst is real. Are you talking about thirst trap? Isn't that a thing now? That's kind of a new term, isn't it? Thirst trap.
I don't know, man. I don't keep up with the slang terms for the kids anymore.
I watched a little bit of this trailer before we went on, Charles, and it looks good.
This is a fantastic movie. I can't say anything negative about this because everything on it is really well done. I guess if you want to throw maybe like one kind of negative into it, it is a little bit long. The movie's like 2 hours and 20 minutes long. It is a little long. They could have maybe tightened it up a little bit, but other than that, it's really good.
I kind of dig this.
Yeah, I mean, you guys probably know this director. He did Old Boy in 2003.
Yeah.
Old Boy is another movie that's just, oh god, that's an amazing film.
Yeah.
I think this stands up there with Old Boy too. I mean, he's an interesting director. Like I said, this is really the only kind of horror stuff he's done. He's done another movie called Lady Vengeance. That's a crime drama that's also phenomenal. I mean, there's so many movies I can recommend from this director, but for the horror lover who likes something that's unique, graphic, not cliche, this is 100% recommended for you guys.
Okay. All right, well there you go, Thirst. You can get that. It's a rental, $3.99, Amazon and Apple TV. Blu-ray is $18. Oh wait, I'm sorry, I'm on the wrong line. Streaming Criterion and AMC Plus.
You're on the right one.
Oh, I was.
$3.99.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
$3.99 rental, Amazon, Apple TV. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the $18.99 Blu-ray if you want to pick that up.
Yeah,
this
the
is
Blu-ray
one I'll
is
put
really
on my
good
list.
for this. The Blu-ray is really, really good for this. I'll say I think the streaming version on Apple and Amazon is like an SD version. I don't think they have 2K like nice streaming version. The Blu-ray is fantastic of this. I'm hoping at some point this trickles down to maybe like Shudder or something. This would be a great film to have on there. But
Show on there.
I recommend this one, guys. Yeah, I mean, if you're in for some really well made, highly, almost artistic movies, I would look into this director. I mean, if you guys haven't seen Old Boy, you should watch Old Boy. Lady Vengeance and Thirst. I mean, these are fantastic movies coming out of Korea, and Chan Park is one of the best Korean directors who are out there.
Sweet. Yeah, a lot of fans for this director, especially Old Boy. So
yeah,
this is something I need to check out. Charles,
yeah,
you're next.
Ali said Vengeance series by Park is so good. Yep, Ali knows what's up. Yeah. Next one's actually one that's this is a fucking weird movie. Let me just say that, guys. So I can describe this movie.
Oh man, probably the weirdest movie of the year of 2000.
Maybe of the decade.
Of ever. Yeah.
A grieving couple retreat to their cabin in the woods, hoping to repair their broken hearts and troubled marriage. But nature takes its course, and things go from bad to worse. First premiering May 18th, 2009 at the Cannes Film Festival. God, I wish I was in that audience. It's the psychological shocksploitation. This is even like mystic magic movie, Antichrist, directed by Lars Van Trier, a weird son of a bitch himself. A co-production between Denmark, France, Germany, Italy, Poland, and Sweden. Because why not? We did 9 countries to make this movie.
Yeah.
If you Lloyd, what do you think about it?
Well, here's what we're gonna do special for you guys tonight. I know looks like there's several people that have seen it. for the clip, instead of a trailer, we're going to play the entire opening scene of Antichrist right now. No, we're not. We're not going to do
No,
that.
that's like, no, we're not.
Okay, so for people that haven't seen this movie opens with a fully pornographic sex scene, penetration and everything.
The secret is Lloyd and I recreated this scene for you guys, and we're going to show that right now.
Right
so get
now.
ready. Get your popcorn. It's gonna.
I don't know about you, Charles, but I did not participate in that. At least
you were asleep. Remember, I gave you that
beer.
beard.
Okay, that's what I was going to say. At least not willingly.
Remember, I gave you that beard. You were like, "This tastes kind of funny," and I was like, "Oh, it's just warm." And you drank it. And you woke up. I was making movies.
And I was like, "What happened?" And you were like, "I don't know. You were really tired, Lloyd. I tucked you in bed."
I tucked you in.
Dude,
and I set up my camera.
This movie, the opening scene. I mean, it's not disturbing because it's fully pornographic. It's disturbing because what happens during that scene. It's crazy, but I gotta say, this movie is art. The opening scene is very artistic.
Have you ever seen a more beautiful porno than the opening scene of this?
It's
beautiful.
It's gorgeous. I mean, I'm telling you, the opening scene of this movie is more gorgeous than it has any right to be. It's also, by the end of that opening scene, you want to shoot yourself in the face. And then you want to do it like 3 or 4 more times throughout this film. Right?
Yeah.
Does that sound like a fair analysis?
Oh, no, that's 100% right. You're going to come out of this movie just tired and just sad about living. It's just one of those movies that
and this movie was on, it seems like it took its turn with most of the major streaming services. Like, it was on Netflix for a long time. You could watch the whole full porn intro.
And I don't know how this was on Netflix. I have no idea how this was on Netflix. Like, how?
Well, they did the same thing with his some of his other films. I mean, they were all in. Netflix was all in on some of his stuff. And it's crazy. Nymphomaniac Volume 1 and 2, didn't that streaming premiere, wasn't it Netflix?
It was Netflix too,
yeah.
I don't think Netflix does this anymore. Netflix has changed the last like 18 months since COVID. Netflix is kind of tightened themselves up a little bit.
I don't remember what I watched on Netflix but one time, but I was watching a movie and it ended and it started with another movie, and it was the movie was basically about this girl. She had a relationship with an older neighbor, like, as friends, and it was kind of a sweet, heartwarming story. But, like, dead center in the center of the movie, this girl was in the porn industry. And there's just, like, a whole porn scene being filmed in the movie, in the middle of the movie. I don't remember what movie this was, but it was full-on porn, man. And then you got back to the whole story of, the lady and the young... the older lady and the younger girl, and it was a sweet movie, but it was just the most crazy thing I'd ever seen.
This movie is crazy. I mean, this is a complex weaving of so much stuff that it's an absolutely beautiful film, and it's 100% art. This is one of those things that they would, for some reason, shoot up at like in a museum, and like little kids would be watching, and their parents would be like, "See, this is just so beautiful." Be like, "What? What's going on? Don't do this." But it is
a beautiful movie. Lars von Trier is an artist, and it's artistic. And but wait, Charles? No, I think it's beautiful. It's like
I think it's a beautiful movie too. It's something I could never watch again, though.
Right,
I could never watch this movie again. I mean, great art direction is great, cinematography is great, the acting is great. William Dafoe is insane in this movie, but it leaves you with this sense of dread. You can't put your finger on it's over, and you're like, I don't know what's wrong with me, but I just don't feel right anymore. I just don't feel good.
I don't feel right anymore. For those that may not have seen this anymore, Charles, it's streaming on
So where can you watch this at, Lloyd?
You can stream it on Criterion and AMC Plus.
Of course you can.
And rent it for $2.99 on Amazon, or you can buy a $40 Criterion Blu-ray for Antichrist.
This movie has Criterion written all over it. This is a movie you watch the first 4 minutes, you're like, well, this is a Criterion movie. Criterion's like, yes, it totally is.
Yes, we want that. Please. We're taking it.
This is high fashion, guys. We're totally taking this. This is Criterion. I'm like, okay.
All right. Antichrist trolls.
Yeah,
Lars von
guys.
Trier. And then didn't he make
Jesus.
like a couple of years later? He made like some weird pro-Nazi remarks, and
Yeah.
he's a strange guy.
Yeah, he's a weird guy. He did that house that Jack built. That's a weird movie too.
The
And
Kingdom, his
Nymphomaniacs.
version of the Kingdom is Bizarro, and
Jesus,
it's all
Christ.
Bizarro, arty kind of stuff. But
He did some weird stuff in the 90s too, just weird TV movie stuff. And it's funny if you watch his stuff in the 90s because it's different. And he even did some Bjork videos, like some really weird shit.
I can
in the
see him
90s.
doing Bjork videos.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's just
You remember how they used to drag Bjork through the mud? Do you remember Mad TV?
Oh yeah.
Do you remember how they used to always make fun of Bjork? And it's great, man.
I need some more of this for us to continue on. Hold on.
Yeah. Okay, so while you do that, I am going to get ready for the next one. This next one is mine, and this is another movie that surprised me in 2009. A husband and wife recently lost their baby. Who recently lost their baby, adopt a 9-year-old girl who is not nearly as innocent as she appears. I bet everybody knows what this is now. Released July 24th, 2009, it's the psychological horror film Orphan, directed by, I've always seen this name, Jaume. Is that Wame? Or Wame? Or
Wame Colette Serra.
Yeah, Colette Serra. A co-production between companies in the U.S., Canada, Germany, and France. Charles, I'm going to let you go first on Orphan.
Man, Orphan, like, it made me so uncomfortable. The end part of it was so uncomfortable. I was watching this. I saw this in theaters. I remember watching it like this. I was like, no, don't do it. Like,
I know.
What's she doing? I was like, don't do it, little girl.
I thought,
this is another movie. It's super unique, you know?
Well, it is super unique, and I liked it.
I liked it too.
It was very unexpected. I thought we were going to see a movie about a bad child. I thought this was,
I didn't know that was
going to be. I didn't know the ending was coming either. It's really, really, it's really good. It's refreshing to have a surprise ending like that where you go, whoa, you know. The Orphan. I don't know, man. It's a pretty messed up movie.
that happened to me because I remember seeing this like, ooh, it's gonna be one of those little killer child movies. And then it got to the end and I was like, whoa, hold on.
Wait a minute.
Hold on. Don't you touch your daddy like that. Hold on. What's going on, little girl?
Hey, this movie was messed up. Very surprising.
How about Isabel Fuhrman in this? She was only 12, like 11 or 12 when she made this. And that girl
killed it, man.
That girl killed it. That girl is a machine. I'm like, how do you direct this little girl like that? Like, and how do you be the guy who's in that scene with her? Like, oh God, it's like I don't want to do this.
You're right though. The ending is super uncomfortable. Vera Farmiga was in this too. Let's not forget.
She's
great.
Yeah. I wish we could get her sometime. She's great.
I've tried, dude. I've tried so hard to get her, but you know, we'll find out. We'll see soon.
This Orphans, though, I think one that's gonna live on in infamy for a long time. This movie is really well made. It's so well acted. It has so many twists. It's super rewatchable because even after you know what happened, you have to go back and watch it again. You're like, I have to see this, and you know, it's the script though is so fantastic. I mean, the dialogue in it, the subplots, it's so complex. Everything in this movie is complex, and it has you uncomfortable but questioning things the whole time, you know?
Yeah. Well, I'm looking at the director. He directed House of Wax also, the remake.
Jaume
Colette Serra. He's from Barcelona, Spain.
Barcelona. I know he also did a bunch of really shitty Liam Neeson movies, didn't he? Like nonstop.
Oh yeah, Unknown is there. What happened to Liam Neeson? It was like after his wife died, and it just seemed like he made any movie that came out, like anything he was offered.
Yeah, I mean, he did that. What was the one he did where he was the secret agent guy? I don't know, but they gave him a shit ton of money to do these action movies, and I'm like, all right, Dark Man, calm down.
Yeah.
Like, calm down, Dark Man.
Yeah.
Calm down. But yeah,
this guy also produced The Shallows, which I enjoyed a lot too, with Blake Lively. The shark movie.
Oh yeah. He produced that.
Mm-hmm. He did. That's what it says.
Nice. Well, this is a good movie for. I don't know really like much else that he's ever done. Now, for Travis out there, the Marvel fan, I know he's doing the Black Adam movie. That's the Marvel movie. So he's one of the people in the Marvel universe now. But yeah, I mean, Orphan is so well done that it seems like completely like it was not directed by him, because it's so different in the sense that it's actually really good composed to some of the other stuff that he's done, compared to the other movies. So yeah. I like Orphan. And I think it's lot
worthwhile,
of that does
and
rely...
on the surface and the poster, you look at this and go, "This is gonna be a stupid movie. I'm not gonna like this." And then you actually end up going, "What the fuck?"
And a lot of it, I guess, does ride in the cash. Like Isabel Furman, like you said, Peter Sarsgaard is really good in this too. That, if you guys seen the movie, the scene with him and Esther towards the end, when she finally starts being her true self, is so uncomfortable, and it's so well acted. It's a solid scene.
Yeah.
You watch that movie and you can feel it. Like, you're like, as the audience, you're like, oh no, this is happening. You're like, oh Lord.
Well, I did want to mention too that this is actually based on a true story. If you think it's a weird enough movie, it actually kind of happened. Of course, we know they over dramatize this stuff, but this is from ScreenRant.com. Audiences who found Orphan and other killer kid movies like Bad Seed and The Omen particularly chilling will be disturbed to learn that the plot of Orphan is actually based on the true story of Barbara Skrylova, a woman who was discovered posing as the 13-year-old boy in Norway after she had escaped from another family where she had facilitated extreme child abuse on the family's children. So look that story up. Truth is always stranger than fiction, and this is kind of a bizarre story that everybody should look into, I think, especially if you're interested in true crime type stuff.
Travis had to correct me that Black Adam is a DC villain. Look, I don't know anything about this, guys. I don't know anything about these movies. I just know what I like.
Oh boy. You screwed up, Charles. Now everybody's going to be like, "Oh, you think you're a comic book hero? Let me show you."
I am. I'm comic book hero. I'm Super Gringo. That's my superhero name. All right? Super Gringo.
Black Adam Blueberry, says Todd Lewis.
Black Adam Blueberry to the rescue.
So we like Orphan. Orphan's cool.
Love it.
Everybody check it out.
Orphan's great. If you haven't seen it, watch it. I mean, it's not gonna turn you down. It's not gonna make you feel bad. It's a great movie. So well done.
It is good.
Where is it at? I think it's only a rental, right?
It says rental $3.99, Amazon and Apple, Blu-ray for $10.
Oh, buy the Blu-ray. It's worth it.
Yeah, just buy it. I can see watching this one again too. I think it has a little rewatchability. So
I have. I mean, I've seen it a couple times, and there's actually a sequel coming out to this, with Isabel again. She's playing the same character. It's Orphan First Kill, and I've been waiting for that. It's in post production. I know that, and yeah, there's a sequel coming. So
it makes sense because,
but
like I just read, it's based on a true story, but she had done that before that too. So, I mean, there we go.
Yeah. I think it's funny because, if you see Isabel Furman, she's, of course, she's older now. I mean, what is she, like, in her 20s now? But she looks the same as she did in this movie when she was 12. It's real creepy, but she's, that Orphan is supposed to be, it's a sequel, but it's supposed to be a prequel to Orphan. So she's supposed to be like how she turned into Esther. So I'm interested in seeing this because I'm excited.
Yeah. Well, apparently she is, let's see, she was born in 97, so she's about 24.
Well,
she was born in February, so yeah.
If I saw her, I'd be like, should you be in elementary school, little girl? It's kind of early in the day for you to be home.
That's right.
Go back. She does. She looks exactly the same. Like, it's real creepy, but great actress though. Another example of a great actress who you haven't seen much of. I know she had the unfortunateness of being in that movie Cell with John Cusack. You remember the Stephen King movie Cell?
Oh God. Yeah.
She was in that. Which it probably wasn't the best thing, but she's a great actress, and everybody check out Orphan if you haven't seen it.
Yes. All right, who's next, Charles? The next one up, that is you, buddy.
This is another fun one, actually. This is a kind of an interesting one. A social worker fights to save a girl from her abusive parents, only to discover that the situation is more dangerous than she ever suspected. This first opened in New Zealand, August 13th, 2009. It's an American supernatural horror film called Case 39 that was directed by Kristen Alvert and starred Renee Zellweger, Jodie Ferland, and Bradley Cooper. What's weird about this is this movie was actually not released to the U.S. at all until it was dropped in theaters October of 2010. So that's 14 or 15 months later. And by the time this was released to theaters in the U.S., it already played in 60 countries and was already released on DVD and Blu-ray in 8 countries. And then for some reason, they decided to bring it out to theaters in the U.S. finally, even though it's an American film.
Yeah.
So weird. Such a weird story of this movie being postponed only in America, which I have no idea why.
Well, like you mentioned, this has Jodelle Ferland in it. Upcoming TFW guest. She was the little girl in Silent Hill and all kinds of stuff. She was in Thailand, The Tall Man, all kinds of stuff. So I'm looking forward to her actually attending the event. Now, about this movie, I think I've seen half of it maybe. It is messed up. This movie is crazy.
Oh, it's really good. And
it's really good. It's got Bradley Cooper in it too.
Yeah, and I laugh about it being released October 1st because I actually ordered this from France, like the official release of the Blu-ray in France, like March of 2010. And I already had it. Then I saw trailers like coming soon to theaters, Case 39. And I was like, I've already got it on Blu-ray. I'm like, it's officially released on Blu-ray in France. It's region free.
Yeah.
So weird. And I don't know, something weird with whatever studios do here. They wanted this for a Halloween release and they didn't make it. And they thought they would have it sit on a shelf for a year and come out near Halloween in 2010 after it had played every country in the world. It's just weird, but it's kind of sad because less people actually saw this movie because I don't know, it wasn't marketed that well. It had already been around a lot. And this is a really great movie. It's actually pretty messed up. It's
real messed up, and it's got kind of a Silence of the Lambs vibe to it, but it's not, it's not totally Silence of the Lambs, but I think this is one of those good, kind of thrillers that came out. This is one of the good ones.
Yeah, I mean, Jodelle Ferland is great in this. She's another fantastic actress who's been around for a while, and I'm normally not much of a Renee Zellweger fan. I never have been. I did like her in Jerry Maguire back in the day, but not really much after that. And she is great in this movie as the social worker. She is fantastic. And, this movie plays out so well. I mean, the story is unfolding. It unfolds in a way that makes it enjoyable, never gets boring, but you also get so sympathetic for little Jodelle. It's really great. I mean, everything in this movie is great. I mean,
there's a lot of stuff about child abuse in this movie, and it's pretty tough. If you're sensitive to that stuff, it's kind of a trigger thing, I guess you could say. But I mean, if you can get around that, it's a crazy good movie, really good.
Yeah, it's crazy, dude. Just like I said, just great. I mean, the script's well written. You'll enjoy watching it. I mean, I've seen this movie twice. I've never been bored by it. It was rewatchable. I mean, really rewatchable because it just paces so well. You lose your time in this because it flies by so quick. I mean, it's not one of those movies where you get bored and you're like, all right, let me check Facebook or something.
Let me skip through. But
it's a great. I mean, like Lloyd said, it can trigger some stuff, and a lot of the stuff that happens here can make it more horrifying. You know, it's just lots of stuff going on here. Yeah, great movie.
It reminds me too of the one with the guy that played Wolverine. Kind of has a tone similar to that. What's that guy? Hugh Jackman. And I'm trying to think of the movie. It's a thriller, kind of a crime thriller thing. Let me get in here and find it. It just kind of feels like it's in that same family.
Yeah. Who else has seen this? Travis said it was all right to him. Anybody else seen this one? Todd Lewis says he never saw cases 1 through 38, so he's a little behind. Yeah, Travis, you got to watch the first 38 cases.
Hey.
Ali said loved Ian McShane in it too.
I'm thinking about 2013's Prisoners.
Oh, Prisoners.
With Hugh Jackman.
It does play a little like that. It just kind of have that same feel, the way it's shot and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost, it's like an FBI kind of a thing. You got that FBI story going on and whatever. It's a good flick. And I need to finish this film because, like I said, I haven't finished Case 39. But the good news is it's easy to watch, right, Charles?
Case 39? Yeah, I mean...
It's streaming on Netflix, it says.
It's streaming on Netflix. It's one of the rare appearances on Netflix we have nowadays on our list because very rarely do we have Netflix pop in. And this is on Netflix. I actually added it to my queue because I want to rewatch it again. Lots of fun. There's a $10 Blu-ray, but... I kind of started the Netflix stream, and it's a really good copy on Netflix. So I'd recommend just kind of rolling the Netflix if you have it.
Boom. I'm going to check it out.
Yeah.
Finish it up. Next up, this is a movie that I have heard a lot of good stuff about.
Oh, it's so great, Lloyd.
I need to watch it, man.
This is so fantastic. This movie was one. I'm going to let Lloyd interrupt, but I'm just going to start by saying this is one that when I saw the trailer and the original plot and the poster, I was like, this is gonna be just trash. It did not. It's so great.
Yeah, I've heard good stuff about it, so let's go ahead and roll with it. Police officers hunting a violent gang in Paris discover an apartment block overrun by zombies. What ensues is an end-of-the-world battle between gangsters, cops, and zombies. First premiering August 28, 2009 at the London Fright Fest Film Festival. It's the new French extremism splatter film, The Horde, co-written and directed by Yannick Dahan and Benjamin Rocher. There has always been good buzz about this movie.
Let me tell you that what I say about this movie, I don't say this lightly, is there has been rarely anybody since George Romero who has put as much care into a zombie movie that there is put into The Horde. This movie is obviously somebody who wanted to make something that was well done, decently scripted. I'll say the script is a little loose, but the way it plays out is so great. I mean, the visual effects are great. It's not trying to be a mockery of zombies, which a lot of the zombie movies had turned into this time. This is a straight up, well-made zombie movie. And I think it is one of the better zombie movies since a long time back.
In a while. Okay.
Yeah, a long time.
An elite police squad is waging
So this is a French flick of new French extremism splatter film. The Horde.
It's super gory. This movie is over the fucking top. I'm gonna say it was not even lightly.
Both the police and the criminals now face an even bigger enemy.
This is it's probably the best action zombie movie ever made. I mean, like full on action zombie. It's got.
I've heard a lot of people say that, Charles. You're not the only one.
Yeah. I mean, it is.
An elite police squad is waging war.
It's just brutal. There's a lot of brutal in this movie, and it actually has some dark humor in there. Kind of like how Romero did stuff. Very dark kind of style of humor.
Both the police and the criminals now face an even bigger enemy.
This is not taking things lightly. It's a lot of fun. Now, you got to kind of. I'm not going to say the script is like a Romero movie. It's not well crafted. It's got a little bit of holes in it, but with that, it makes up for it with just how great and how much care is put into actually presenting this super gory, but not a mockery of itself zombie film, you know?
There you go. Looks like you can rent it for $3.99 on Amazon. Only released on DVD in the U.S. $20. You can import an official Blu-ray release from Canada for $39.
Oh, import the Blu-ray release, because the Blu-ray of this, it is phenomenal. It is a beautiful 2K transfer. I can't remember the company. If you're going to spend $20 on the DVD, it's totally worth to get the Blu-ray. There are cheaper Blu-rays overseas if you have a region free player, but most of them don't include English subtitles at all. This is not one that's been dubbed in English. It's French. So a lot of the overseas ones only have subtitles for their specific country. Like Germany has a good transfer, but it only has German subtitles. So Canada is a great Blu-ray. It's a really great Blu-ray.
All right, cool. That's what I will have to do is check that out.
Man, Lloyd, there's a lot of movies today. What the
There's
hell?
a lot. There's a lot.
What's going on today, guys? We still got a couple more out here too.
We do. You're next. This next one pricked a lot of ears up.
That's a good way to describe it. It pricked. All right, guys. Two American girls on a road trip through Europe find themselves alone at night when their car breaks down in the woods. Searching for help at a nearby villa, they are wooed into the clutches of a deranged, retired surgeon who explains his mad scientific vision to his captive's utter horror. Oh my God. This first premiered August 30th, 2009 at the London Fright Fest Film Festival. It's the Dutch sadistic shocksploitation body horror film, The Human Centipede first sequence, written, directed, and co-produced by the only person who can make this, and that's Tom Six.
Tom Six.
That's a movie right there.
You know what I find most amazing about this movie is how it got that moniker of being one of the most extreme movies ever made. It's so gross, blah blah blah. But it's really only an idea that you're grossed out about. A lot of that is not on screen. And in a way, it's close, not the same, but in a way it reminds me of Texas Chainsaw in that you don't see a lot of what's implied. And I like that about this movie.
Yeah. Cynthia said it was a strange year at TFW. That was a strange year because all I remember is for some reason Tom Six and Alona Six, his sister, showed up 3 days early, which we have no idea why. I remember that. And I remember he called me on the phone, and Frightmare's Friday, right? He was supposed to get here like Thursday night. He called me like Tuesday afternoon, was like, "Oh, yes, I am at airport and nobody to get me." And I'm like, "Who is this?" He goes, "It's Tom Six." And I'm like, "What the hell are you doing at the airport?
Why are you at the hotel that early?" Yeah.
Oh, but
we had that happen a few times in the past, but they were fun guests. They really were.
Oh, they were fun. I mean, he taught me some interesting things about Amsterdam sex dungeons, which he was a fan of. So he gave me a nice long description of where the best Amsterdam sex dungeons are, how you get into them, and what normally you should tip people who are working at the Amsterdam sex dungeons. And I'm like, okay, thank you.
That's funny.
For informing me of this lifestyle.
Yeah.
But this movie is this movie's so weird. It's like you said, it's not as over the top and graphic and gore and say
it's not at all.
It is. It's just the idea.
There's a lot of implied.
Imply, yeah. What people are being implied that they're seeing, which we know it's happening. It's rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. And I can tell you, I heard a lot about this. And when I finally watched it, I was like, well, it's not that bad. I was like, I've seen a lot worse.
Right.
Like, this is, but he tried to make it that bad with the sequels to this. He kind of amped it up a little bit. You know, he was like, I'm gonna screw everybody up now that they give me a budget.
Right.
So.
Well, that was kind of the thing is a lot of people said he went too soft in this movie and he didn't show enough and blah, blah, blah. So he did that. And I wasn't as happy with the results. quite honestly. I didn't like part 2. Didn't really like part 3 that much. The best thing about part 2 is what's his face who played the lead. The rest of it was a lot of over the top shock for the sake of shock, I think, after that. But this first movie, it was shocking without being explicit.
Yeah. A lot of that relied on the fantastic performance from Dieter Laser. Like Travis said, rest in peace, Dieter Laser.
Rest in peace, Dieter. We miss you, Dieter.
You know, I stayed in contact with Dieter for years after the show. I mean, me and him would talk on like Facebook and stuff, and even through email randomly. Like we would just talk and chat. And I think when he passed, like nobody knew he passed for like 2 months. Like his family didn't announce it.
Yep.
And like when he had passed, I think the last time I had talked to him was like 7 months before he had passed, and it was just normal passing. I think I'd sent him a clip of something, and we were laughing about it. And I heard he had passed, and I was like, "What?" I was like, "Dieter."
Yeah.
But what a great actor that wasn't really known. You know, he kind of got a push from, of course, this movie. You know, it made him infamous.
Yeah.
He had done stuff before, lots of stuff out in Germany, I believe, lots of just German language stuff, and he was almost retired from acting when he had done Human Centipede.
That's what I had heard. Yeah.
You know, yeah. So, and this was basically like the last kind of set of things he would do. You know, he will return in Human Centipede 3. He returned as Bill Boss, but you know what a fantastic guy, and he was insane. He was a great guest. He loved the crowds. He brought his screen use costume from the movie. Remember, He brought his lab coat and all that. He's like, you think people would mind if I wore this? Would they like it? I'm like, Jesus, yeah, wear it the whole time.
Hell yeah. Did. And he would sit there, he was so like, he would stand there and like people would walk by and they maybe didn't know what Human Centipede was, and he would like grab them and say, "Come over here, let me talk to you, and I want to take a picture with you." And I mean, he was such a fun person, and I really do miss him a lot. I wish we'd have had him back again before he passed away, but that's life, man. That is life.
That is life, you know. Kind of sad. I think my favorite thing from that show is Tom Six, who instead of giving me an autograph, guys, he decided to draw me a picture, and I still have it framed. He drew me a picture of the Human Centipede, but of bunnies. So he's got 3 bunnies put together like the Human Centipede. He drew this for me, big picture, and signed his name on it. And the front bunny is smiling, and I think the back one's like shitting. And it's just, he goes, because I had given him like something. I said, "Hey, do you mind signing this? I have to run around." I came back. He goes, "Well, I drew you a picture because you'd brought me this. I brought him like a doodle pad because he wanted to draw while he was there."
Well, he decided that was something that he was going to do, is do sketches at the show.
Yeah, that's what it was.
People. Yeah. He gave me one, and it was like a straight off view of a butthole. That's what it was. So I've still got mine too. So.
It's great. I'm telling you, it's insane.
It is.
But rest in peace. You know, it's an interesting movie. It's not for everybody. There's some stuff that's not really well made about it, but it's more than made up for the shock factor.
I know a lot of people that won't watch this movie based on the procedure alone that happens in the film. They don't want to see ATM at all. They're grossed out about it, and they won't even consider watching that. So I get it. It's pretty gross, but you don't see any of that. You just don't. It's not something you see on screen. Don't.
And I think that's kind of a bad thing, because Dieter Laser is so phenomenal in this movie. He is fantastic. He is a great actor. You know, he makes this movie.
That's right. So you can stream this on AMC, rent it on Amazon, $2.99. Shout Factory has a Human Centipede 3-movie set, $35. The single disc of this is out of print. There you go.
Yeah.
Human Centipede.
All right.
We'll go to the next one. In order to ascertain the current situation inside, a supposed medical officer and a GEO team step into the quarantined and ill-fated apartment building. First premiering September 2nd, 2009 at the Venice Film Festival, It's the Spanish found footage zombie horror film Wreck 2, written and directed by, here he is, Wame Balaguero and Paco Plaza, a direct continuation sequel to '07's Wreck. I thought this was a worthy successor to Wreck. This is a good sequel.
I totally agree with you. I think it's right up there with Wreck. Wame and Paco both directed the original Wreck, and they both returned to do the sequel. And this really delivered. It starts right after the first one. So I mean, really, you could put those two together, and it's one freaking awesome movie. And it further explores a lot of these supernatural elements that you saw in the first one. I guess I kind of like I didn't like some of the new characters they tried to introduce, like all other people in the apartment building. I wasn't a big fan of them trying to bring like new people into all this stuff that was going on. But you know, it's I like this one a lot. Super creepy, just like the first one, you know?
Yep. Yeah, and it does, you know, what's good about this movie is it does feel like a continuation of the first movie, where some of the subsequent ones really didn't.
You know, the third one doesn't have anything to do with the other ones whatsoever. The third one's like they're at a wedding, and that one's actually kind of fun, but it's not like this. I mean, these first two together are so good, and Wame and Paco know how to make these movies right, because Wreck and Wreck 2 are both super short movies. They're both like an hour and 20 minutes long, you know? So even you put them together, it's like 2.5 hour long movie. It's not that long, but the whole structure of the movie is great. The editing's great. It flows in there great. There's nothing unnecessary in this. We're like, you know, maybe movies like this may drag a little bit because they want to throw in a lot of, you know, scenes of scariness for no reason. They cut these exactly like how it should be, and everything has a point, and everything has a reasoning to exist in this kind of short ass movie, you know?
Yeah. I go back to
slipping the mint tipping.
Richard Nettleton tipped 5 through Super Chat. Thank you, Richard. We appreciate the tip. That is awesome.
Thank you, Chandra. Man, if we could ever get Manuela Velasco at the convention, I would love to have her. You know, she was in 3 of those Wreck movies. She's gorgeous, and I think she's a great actress. I would love to see her sometime.
Yeah, she'd be awesome. So let's see. What else about Wreck? Where can we watch it, Charles? Wreck 2.
Yeah, we're it's on AMC Plus. We're kind of rolling through, guys. We're about to hit the 2 hour mark, so we try to keep us reps under 2 hours. But this streaming on AMC Plus, it's a $2.99 rental. The only place you can rent this is Fandango now for some reason. But the only way you can get this is on the Shout Factory 4 movie set. That's $50. The Shout Factory 4 movie set that's $50 is it's the exact same, almost basically exact same set if you live in the UK that Arrow brought out. Arrow also brought out a 4 movie set in the UK because Arrow has the UK rights and Shout Factory has the US rights. I'll tell you, the 4 movie set at $50 is a great deal. It's a fantastic deal. And if you guys look right now, Amazon actually has a sale that's like if you want some of these more expensive movies, they have a buy 2 get 1 free sale, and this Rec set's part of that sale. So you can actually, if you're looking for like a 3 sets that are like $50, I'd look on there because I ordered this one today because it was the buy 2 get 1 free sale, which kind of
that's a good deal.
Yeah. So you can get 3, like there was a whole bunch of the $50 sets on there, and it works out to like $30 a piece, which is a steal. So
cool. All right, Charles. The next one is yours, and this is something that we've recently done a screening of, Prime Watch Party screening.
When Brent turns down his classmate Lola's invitation to the prom, she concocts a wildly violent plan for revenge. This first premiered at the Toronto Film Festival September 13th of 2009. It's the Australian horror film The Loved Ones, written and directed by Sean Byrne. Yeah, we watched this recently in one of our Prime watch parties, and that was the first time I had ever seen this movie. I'd never seen it before.
Oh, yeah, I remember that, yeah. That was your first time. What'd you think? I never asked you what you thought.
I liked it. I thought it was a really well-made horror movie. I thought it was going to be more campy than it was. It had some nice, serious tones to it. I actually rewatched it after our Prime watch party so I could kind of dive into a little bit more and focus a little bit more on the story itself, and super imaginative. It's really crazy, really sadistic, really well acted. It's fun. I mean, it's a little bit of like horror light. It's got a little bit of horror light to it, but I thought it was a lot of fun. I think it's a hell of a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, it's a pretty brutal flick. I get what you're saying by it's kind of horror light, but it is rather brutal. I think you froze up on us, Charles. Not really sure what went on. I hope you're okay, sir. Are you back? Yeah, you're back. Cool.
Yeah. What happened?
Oh, you froze up for a little bit.
Chat disconnected in our YouTube. Something happened.
Oh, that's weird. Chat disconnected?
Yeah, please wait while I don't know what happened. It's all right.
Like you lost the internet for a second on your end.
It's sorcery. Sorcery. No, I was just saying, yeah, Loved One kind of surprised me. It was, not what I thought it was going to be, and I really enjoyed watching it. I really, really enjoyed watching it.
Same here. Streaming on Prime is The Loved Ones, rental for $2.99. I have a blank spot in my section for physical media. So I don't know, is it still out, or is it no longer around or something?
Yeah, when I looked at The Loved Ones, it's only on. There is a US DVD that seems to be out of print. There's some Blu-rays that are overseas, but it's kind of hard to watch. So I'd recommend just watching it on Prime. Prime has a really good copy, and I guess we got to stick with that, right?
There you go.
Well, Lloyd, you got the last one of the night.
Last one of the night.
Best for last.
One of the best for last. But I also want to let everybody know we do have our honorable mentions coming up after this film. So there are more to come. And then, do you have anything to give away tonight, Charles? Or we do a giveaway? Yeah, he's froze up. So while he's
having, I've got all kinds of stuff here. We'll find something. I'll grab something. I actually pulled something out, but I don't know what I did with it. It's somewhere over there.
Well, we'll start this one.
What's going on,
shy student trying to reach his family in Ohio, gun-toting tough guy trying to find the last Twinkie, and a pair of sisters trying to get an amusement park, join forces to travel across a zombie-filled America. Released October 9th, 2009. It's the American post-apocalyptic horror comedy Zombieland, directed by Ruben Fleischer. This is a fun movie. Everybody knows Zombieland. Look at it. Everybody is commenting. Zombieland. I think a lot of people love this movie. It's great. I even like the sequel a lot, Charles.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I was kind of a fan of the sequel. I feel like they could have done a lot more with the sequel. I didn't like it as much as I liked the first one, but what are you gonna do? I mean, it kind of added on to it. I like how they lived in the White House in the sequel. It was hilarious.
Yep, that was great. But Zombieland was pretty good. It was actually great. I know this movie is so popular. It's huge. So many people talk about Zombieland.
Sorry, I was laughing because I'm giving away this because I have to. It's great.
Okay. So what else you want to say about Zombieland, Charles?
I mean, I saw this for the first time at the Texas Frightmare Weekend Zombie Walk screening that we did way back in the day. Remember that? It was so great to watch this in a theater full of zombies. It was great. And
people showed up in droves dressed as zombies. We did a little zombie walk around the theater. That was a fun night, Charles.
Yeah, it was a fun night. I remember we had to hide from the rain for a minute, and the Blockbuster that still existed back then, the Blockbuster Video right next to it, which is now a paint store. It's Sherman-Williams Paint now.
Is it really?
Yeah, nothing we could say about Zombieland, guys. I mean, everybody loves Zombieland. It's a refreshing, fun, just kind of ridiculous, but ridiculous in a good way, fun zombie story. Edited great. Opens up with a fantastic scene with Metallica music.
Yep.
The opening scene with For Whom the Bell Tolls. It's just so great. You know that opening 4 minutes that shit's gonna get real and it's gonna be good for the whole way through, you know?
People are talking about this. Richard says he misses the zombie walk. A lot of people do. It's hard to do something like that at an airport, though. Allie Tappa says she has pictures.
TSA.
Yeah, she says she has pictures. She was in that zombie walk. You ought to post them sometime. I have some photos of me too, standing in front of the zombie walk. I was out like leading people, and I had a bullhorn in my. It was so crazy.
So was I.
It was so crazy, right, Charles?
Hoarding people, yeah.
That
was great.
I led the zombie horde.
Yeah, that's good. That's good stuff.
It is good stuff.
Oh, it's
so
great.
Zombieland, great flick. Like Charles said, there's not a whole lot we can say about this because everybody's seen Zombieland, and if you hadn't, I'd recommend seeing it pretty soon.
It's a rental on Amazon. Nobody's streaming this. I don't think anybody's ever streamed this, but the Blu-ray is out there. I think the Blu-ray is like $5 everywhere. The Blu-ray's like been so mass produced that it's like $5 everywhere if you look for it.
Yeah. So it's a cheap movie you can grab, and you gotta add Zombieland.
This is what I'm giving away today, Lloyd. You ready?
Yes.
I'm giving away Natalia, Escape from Hell.
Oh,
why not?
MVD? That's an MVD exclusive or something?
Yeah. This is a great movie about
Nazi
a crazy
exploitation, looks like.
Nazi exploitation, Russian doctor, and a Nazi exploitation movie because I've drank a lot of this, and I figure when I drink enough of this, it's time to give away Nazi exploitation.
There you go.
So I have special caches of Nazi exploitation movies over there for you guys that come out in special occasions when Charles has had his brown liquor.
Well, if you guys are interested in winning a copy of Natalie, the Nazi exploitation movie, stay tuned. Stay tuned, because we're going to give that back right after we play the honorable mentions video. These are things that, maybe we didn't want to include in the main list, but couldn't just avoid them and ignore them. So here we go. Honorable mentions.
Yeah. No Nazi exploitation on the honorable mentions, guys.
That's right.
That's a genre that went away really quickly.
Yeah, it didn't last long, did it? Thank God.
We'll do a whole show on that one time.
Yeah. And just how crazy
show.
It is. I mean, oh my God. So what do we got here? What is this?
Oh, you know what this is. Daybreakers.
Oh, Daybreakers. Oh, yeah. From the guys that directed our little alien movie that we like. Jennifer's Body was a surprisingly good movie.
I go both ways.
That was fun.
It was.
I remember...
Laid to Rest. There's our buddy Robert Green Hall. The sequel to Chrome Skull.
Lock the door! Do it! Lock the door!
Are you at that door right there? You think you're going in there to get her? Is that what you think? How's Stu gonna get back in? What do you not understand? I will shoot you in the head!
He's not.
Oh, Lord. This is actually a really good movie, guys. White Ghost, Ju-on. The whole Ju-on series is pretty good. But White Ghost is actually surprisingly good, coming out as late as it did in the series.
I've never seen this, Charles. You need to loan me some of these movies. You have these at home somewhere, don't you?
I have them on Blu-ray and DVD, most of them, yeah. A lot of them. I need to bring them to you.
Yeah. I should probably start at the beginning with Ju-on, though.
Yeah, you got to start all the way back, because it's kind of like a tidal wave of quality. This one's pretty good, though.
Very quiet. Something is going to happen. And
what's going to happen,
Lloyd?
Lloyd?
Your pants? I don't know.
Something spooky!
There's a dead person with no head. How did he not notice that when he first walked in? That'd be the first thing I would have seen. I would have been like, oh shit, a headless body.
Oh, shit. I freaking love Pandora. This is a great movie. It's fun.
Now this was an Anchor Bay release, wasn't it?
Yeah. Ben Foster's great in this.
I remember when this came out, but I never saw it.
It's pretty. I liked it. I think I've seen it like maybe 3 times. It screams a lot. Oh, The Collector's a great movie too.
This is a really good movie.
I told you, 2009 is an insanely good year. There's a lot of good stuff.
Oh no, don't open the box.
What's in the box, Lloyd?
I don't
What's
know.
in the box?
What's in the basket?
Potatoes.
Well, this was a huge letdown.
The Haunting in Connecticut?
Yeah, because, you know, they did this as a... Remember on TV, A Haunting, the series? It was about different haunted stories, and they were real. They did a version of this that's excellent. Descent 2.
Descent 2. Descent 2 is nowhere near as good as the first Descent, but if you really like the first one, it's a nice continuation of that, I don't know, that universe of what's happening in those caves.
Yeah,
this is a fun movie right here. This is a great movie. Suck.
Is it really good?
This is a fun movie. This is a fun movie. I mean, it's just fun. It's just dumb fun. Kind of like, you know, I bought a vampire motorcycle. This is just a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I knew there was a lot of rock guys. I think Alice is in this one, right?
I fucking love this movie right here.
Yeah, Yoshihiro.
Me and her are gonna get married someday. I love Ihashino. Ihashino, I love her. I really wanted to put this on the list, guys. I love Vampire Girl versus Frankenstein Girl, but there's not enough room tonight. There's too much.
So much stuff, guys. We're right at the what time is it? We're a little over 7 minutes over.
A little bit of 7 minutes over, but
over 2 minutes, over 2 hours. So,
if you guys want to win Natalia Escape from Hell, I'm gonna make it easy. So the honorable mention we just watched, one of the trailers was one of our favorite past guests popped up in it. So tell me who that was. There you go.
One of our favorite past guests. Who was it?
Yep.
I think I know the answer, Charles.
I think you know it.
So, guys, if you want to win this copy of this Blu-ray,
nobody wants it.
Yeah,
they're like, nope.
First person. I'm watching Twitch. You're watching YouTube. Stars fan Debbie Disaster said Pandorum was great. Any answers on your end, Charles? Nobody wants.
Nobody wants Nazi exploitation.
Nobody wants the Nazi exploitation. We're gonna count down, guys, and it's just gonna be gone.
Oh,
Ashley
won it. Ashley,
sweet.
Well, Ashley, to go with your copy of Bees that you won comes the companion piece of Natalia Escape from Hell, because nothing goes better with the movie Bees than Nazi exploitation. I mean, there's even a half swastika on the front because they couldn't do a whole swastika because of legality reasons of the poster art. That's actually why it's not on the Blu-ray cover. So,
interesting.
That's what's getting sent to you, Ashley. So, I apologize in advance, but you're gonna have to watch that and let me know what you think about it. I want a full Ashley Guillory review of Natalia Escape from Hell. All right.
Stars fan Debbie Disaster said, "What was the question?"
It's over.
It's over. We gave it away. We wanted to know. We went over that. We're not going to go over it again. But I did want to say, Mr. 80s brought up, did you guys like Sorority Row? Yes. Kill Theory and Blood Knight, The Legend of Mary Hatchet. I did like Sorority Row. I don't think I've seen the other two. But I like Sorority Row. It felt like an old-fashioned slasher flick. That was a 2009 movie as well, guys. Lots of movies, so can't do them all, but I did like that one. Did you see the other two, Charles?
Yeah, I saw Blood Knight, The Legend of Mary Hatchet. Bill Moseley's in that, and Daniel Harris is in that one, too. I wasn't a huge fan of it, but I thought it was a fun, one-time watch. You know, it's a good one to throw on, mainly because I'm familiar with a lot of the characters. It's got an interesting story, Blood Knight does. Yeah, it's one that if you come across, definitely maybe give it a watch. if you like, I like watching Bill Moseley and Daniel Harris and anything. So I don't know. It kind of does it.
Yep.
The other one I haven't
go.
seen though. The other one you mentioned I haven't seen either.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff, but we had fun tonight. I hope you guys had fun as well. Thank you all for joining us.
Travis said not mentioning Halloween 2 remake.
Yep, I saw that. Yeah, well.
What Halloween 2 remake? Dude, I don't even know what that is.
That movie was, I don't know. There was a lot of bad in that movie, so.
I don't know what you're talking about, Travis. Go back and watch some other movie. I don't want to think about Halloween 2.
Exactly.
But I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. Yeah, I mean, you guys are fantastic. Love talking to everybody. Thank you everybody for dropping in dropping in your comments, your your responses to stuff.
Yes.
When are we gonna be back? I don't know. Are we doing anything Saturday? I don't even know.
I don't know if we've got anything planned yet for Saturday. We'll see. Maybe we'll pop in and do a surprise. We'll show some stuff from the shop. We'll chat with people. We'll see. If y'all want to do that, that might be fun.
Yeah. Yeah,
and I think our next Twitch
is
going to be, our next Twitch watch party is not going to be this weekend, but next. Isn't that what we decided, Charles?
Yeah, I thought we had discussed perhaps doing it on a Thursday night. No. So just get your guys' feedback. We had discussed possibly doing the Twitch watch party on a Thursday night instead of a Saturday. I know we haven't done one in a while, and it's been kind of hard to actually commit to doing the time on Saturdays with everything going on at Frightmare Collectibles. So we thought about perhaps doing our Wednesday show like normal, and then doing the Twitch Prime watch parties on Thursdays, and then changing the Twitch Prime watch party to like bi-weekly, like every other Thursday we'll do one at like 7 or 8 o'clock, something like that. If that works for you guys, I mean, we'll look at scheduling one next Thursday night at either 7 or 8. So let us guys what you guys think about that.
All right, guys.
Right, Lloyd?
Yeah, I missed a lot.
I was telling everybody that we were batting around the ideal of doing the Twitch Prime watch party on bi-weekly on Thursday nights, and then just doing our normal Wednesday show like normal. But I told them that's been real hard to do our Saturday night watch party just with everything going on at Frightmare Collectibles. It's been really hard to commit to kind of being there for the 2 hours to do the watch party. That's why we haven't done one in a few weeks. Not that we don't want to do them. We love spending that time with you guys. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But
we're just trying to figure out a better way to schedule things. So
maybe if we don't do a Saturday afternoon, Lloyd, maybe we can do a Saturday night watch party, something like that.
That might be better.
Yeah.
So
me and Lloyd will figure it out. We'll throw some stuff out.
Yeah, Brad's saying he's coming out this weekend. I can't wait to see you, Brad. Anybody else that wants to come out to the shop, feel free to come by and say howdy. Whatever, it'll be fun. Brad was talking about what he did. I think he just pulled it. I think he wants it to be a surprise. He just pulled what he's going to be doing. Don't forget, next weekend, not this coming weekend, but next weekend is the Spring Slasher Camp, April 3rd. We're going to have all kinds of folks at this event. Dave Sheridan, Felisa Rose. As far as vendors, we got Danny Del Caro. We've got the Triffid Ranch. Joe at Fast Custom Shirts. Tons of people coming out to this event. You're going to be there. You're going to be set up with your VHS tapes. The store will be open. Dead Dave Designs is another vendor that's going to be there. So we got a lot of stuff coming up. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Lot of stuff. And I'll tell you guys for coming out on for all my VHS people. I've got some VHS people on here, and I've had people ask me about Sleepaway Camp tapes on VHS. I've had a couple people ask me. I'm gonna tell you guys, I've got 5 copies of Sleepaway Camp on VHS now, and it's not been easy to get them. And if you guys know Sleepaway Camp, it's not easy to get, and it's not cheap on VHS either. So I've got 5 copies, and I'm gonna try to price them as low as I can for you guys. I'm gonna tell you, it's not been easy to acquire them at all. but I have acquired 5 copies total. So I think that I'm gonna price one of them really low for the first person who really wants them, like at a really super undercut eBay by like 50%, and then the other one's probably kind of around normal price. So if you want one, I would say come out there first, because it's Lloyd knows it's taken me like a while to even acquire a few copies. They're not easy to get now.
All right.
I had to do some trading and finagling with people to get those copies of Sleepaway Camp.
All right. Well, we're looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. I hope to see you guys out there. I am going to go ahead and sign off for the night. Oh,
sorry. I was laughing at Richard. He said Charles isn't proud of what he did to get them. And
yeah.
Travis said $100,000 for a copy of Sleepaway Camp. Guys, I don't overprice things, guys. If you look and think they're expensive, look on eBay. They literally, and this is like the copy that came out in the year 2000, sell for over $100 on eBay now. Like, it's not even a joke. Like, they sell for a lot of money. It's one of the highly requested ones. Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, I think that is going to wrap it up for tonight. I want to thank everybody who joined us. I had a great time. Anything else, Charles?
No, that's it. Just, I look forward to, this time every week. I'm glad we get to spend it with you guys. And, Lloyd and I we'll talk together. We'll try to work out a time to keep doing our watch parties and stuff. We may try a day. If it doesn't work, we'll move it around. But if we're not doing something, don't think it's because we don't want to do it, guys. We love spending the time with you. It's just, it's been getting a little harder to schedule the time and then also get guests. It seems like everybody's back at work now, doing work and doing their things. And it's been real hard to nail down people. But we're still here for you guys. We love you guys.
We're not going anywhere, guys. We're here for the long haul.
No, we're not going anywhere. And like I say every week, I just want to throw an extra special shout out to our Patreons. I love you guys. The fact that you throw in the support for us monthly really does help us keep this going. Kind of helps to drive us. And we were really proud to be able to do 3 shows in a row for you guys. So 3 weeks of shows. So a few more weeks from now, we'll schedule the April show. And congrats to Travis, who won the mystery Patreon box. I sent him that big box. Lots of fun stuff. And lots of other movies to people out there. So love you guys. Thank you guys so much.
All right. There you go, guys. That is it. Thanks for joining us. You guys have a great evening. If you haven't yet, please hit that thumbs up button on YouTube and like it, share it, tell everybody about it. And that's it. You've been watching Frightmare HQ's 2009, The Year in Horror. My name is Lloyd Cryer.
And I'm Charles Doze.
That's right. Y'all have a great evening, guys. We will see you on the flip side. Take care.
On the flippity flips. Yep.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.